everybody. I'm George.
And I'm Bob. We're the Shipping Goblins from Beetle and Cribs. Today, we're going to talk about the amazing Map Vault Collection. And with the Map Vault Collection, you get a bunch of gorgeous two-sided maps, all scaled for standard minis.
Yeah, get yours now for the Map Vault Collection from Beetle and Grimm, and all the players at your table will be revved up and hyper because the only thing they'll be able to say is...
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Zoinks!
Yeah, do it again.
Zoinks!
Hello?
Who do you think you are?
Yes, Mr. Lillard.
You're just some common.
Yes, sir.
You can't just go off and use my
It's your
voice
thing.
like that. I have rights.
Completely. We just thought...
Wait,
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take this right to
yes,
the
sir.
Beetle. Hey, Grim.
Thank you, sir.
What happened?
Matthew Lillard watches our show!
Zoinks!
Double
Hello. Hello, hello. Is everything working? I think it is. I think for once everything's worked at the same time. I've got various screens. To private joke, nothing for you to worry about. But hello, welcome to Band of Badgers. I'm Dave, your GM and host for this game. We are, of course, playing Rise of the Runelords. I nearly forgot. Rise of the Runelords by Pathfinder.
Rise of the Brush Lords.
Yeah, I've only been doing this 8 months or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a very long campaign at all.
No, we're not. Happy. Welcome to February. Hello, and these are my fantastic players. Say hello, players.
Hello, players.
Hello, players.
Hello.
Hey, that was a good one. Normally they're not so well behaved, so there must be some interesting people in the audience. Oh, but thank you for joining us, and of course, welcome to our very special guest. We have KELSEY from Arcane Library. Everybody.
Hello, guest player.
Oh.
Hi, thanks for having me.
This is where the suspicion starts, and eventually the
hazing
feelings of disappointment.
The finger pointing.
Yeah.
So they don't cheer for the guests anymore because they think they're baddies.
Yeah.
They are baddies, Dave.
Yeah, the track record speaks for itself.
Now, of course, for those of you who are new to us, around half time, we'll do a Q&A session with KELSEY. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask, stick a capital Q into live chat, ask a question. Our fantastic gang of moderators will make a note and try and pass them to me. If not, because it tends to break down, Steve will ask the questions.
Hey, can we give a shout out to the mods, Dave? Can we give a shout out to them?
Go on, then.
Go on, shout out to the mods.
You have to feed them as well if you do that.
Give you some love, guys.
Thank you, mods. Thank you, mods.
Yeah, thank you to I'm a Good Demon Honest, and hi, I'm Cork, for modding for us.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
Give those guys a cheer in chat, please.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we are going to be doing our usual guest giveaway. KELSEY has been extreme. I'm looking over there because I've got faces over there and I've got other stuff in front of me here. But even though the camera's in front of me, but KELSEY's been extremely generous. If you've been here since when the advert started and everything, you would have noticed something in live chat. It would have been a link. She's given away one of her latest 5e edition rule books. If I'm saying it's KELSEY, just interrupt me if I'm not saying it correctly. Shadow Sorcerers, for free. For all of you. So follow the link, grab
awesome.
it now for free. Okay? And we're going to keep that going for the next 3, 4, 5 days. So please share it with absolutely everyone and let them know. So a free book. Now we're also going to be doing a very special giveaway around half time. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, as always, a huge thank you to Beadle and Grim. They are not just supporters of this show, supporters of our entire channel. We've got loads more shows and stuff coming up. If you've been on other shows, you would have seen us kind of tease bits and pieces. But just stay with us, and we'll put out some more teasers. But we can't officially announce them just yet. But more is on the way. Now, and also to all of our other supporters, there are various companies who do that. In the box below me, you'll see discounts. Right now, it says Dogmite, so hopefully it's still there. They offer anywhere between 10, 15 and 20% off of their items for special code words. So do check that out, okay? There's a gifts that we're passing on to our audience. If you would like to support us, we're on Twitch. If you know how it works, Twitch Prime subs. Doesn't cost you a penny, and I think we get £2 off of every subscription. It just means it allows us to continue to do what we love doing, and that's just playing games, talking about it on Twitch, and getting a bigger, wider community of people who love to do this. And what we do, as you would have seen from, check out our YouTube channel, you would have seen, we help artists, writers, designers, creators of all kinds, just to kind of come on, have some fun, play games, just like KELSEY's doing, and help promote awareness of their fantastic products. And we've had some really great people on. Now, also coming up tomorrow, I believe is Friday, if I'm still in Thursday, I think I am. Friday, we have our Annihilation game. So stay tuned for that. Same Badger time, same Badger channel. And right now, let's see. I will drag that window over to this window. Let's shout out to some people who are in the audience. Thank you very much for joining us. Great Ghost Girl Michelle. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Well, congratulations on the new job. Sean TW, he's a fantastic artist. If you, Jeff will kindly move out the way. There you go. He's done all our character artwork and all our little badges. For all our other little programs, you would have seen various badges.
As Dorcas says, get some art.
And he's done, he has a company called Your Character Studio where he's open for commissions now. So you want to do anything. He even did the artwork for Matthew Lillard. He did Beadle and Grim in his own kind of cartoon style, and he sent it to him. And Matthew Lillard was really kind of nice to stick his picture up on Instagram for it. Theo and Grady from Gallant Goblin, hello. How are you both doing?
Hey, Theo.
Hope you're well.
Hello.
See Josh McGuire, the McGuire Review.
Go on then. If
Go
you
subscribe.
can do it, you
Like
can
and
take over.
subscribe.
You do it. Go on, Jeff. You do the next one. I'll rest. and have a
Who
drink.
else we got? It's hard to see.
Well, it's Fight at the 86s tonight because we have Chaff Hunter and Chrononaut 86. So we're going to have
So
some
Arcane
86
Library?
going on.
Arcane Library is KELSEY.
Ah, okay. Did not know that.
Hi.
Hello, Kelsey. Sorry about that
That's
one.
okay.
Anger
That's
Manager.
right.
Not seen that name before. Thank you for joining us.
I heard
The
a rumour
Has-
that
the
if you have 86
Hazmateer
in your name,
is-
you win
is a cool name.
rewards.
That's where it's,
Plunder
see, this is
medic.
what happens. You let the intros go to everyone, and everyone starts shouting out and talking over each other.
You need to start farming this stuff out, Dave.
Marshall Mowbray. I saw your stuff on Twitter. I'm sure you saw that stuff. Marshall Mowbray. I don't remember which episode you won it on, but won the Dogmite Dragon Sheath. And he put some pictures out on Twitter. Thank you so much for doing that. It looks awesome. I don't have one, so you got to let me know. Let me know how good it is. But yeah, I'm desperate to get one.
Thanks for the sub, Baron Snowhand.
Yeah. Oh, Baron was on our show yesterday with our Great British Brush Off. Fantastic for that. Some fantastic feedback from him. I was really chuffed. I won Star Painter. It
Do
was
you want
great.
to say that again? Go on.
I won.
Yeah,
is what I said.
Oh,
I
you
won.
just spot. I had to log off before the end of it, and I was going to catch up on YouTube. Please
No,
like and
I
subscribe
won.
on YouTube.
I won.
Thank you.
I won. Marissa, thanks for joining us. Marissa is from Band of Bravos, and we did a kind of Band of Bravos, which is the official Paizo team, with Band of Badgers. We did a crossover. Check out last episode to see.
No,
well, you're
don't
going to see
check
what
it out.
you're going to see the fallout of that now.
I watched the end.
But,
I'm sad.
so do check that out.
Marissa, we love you.
Oh, thank you very much. There we go. Great Ghost Girl.
Oh, thanks.
You-
That was
you-
for me.
You now have a sub.
Yay!
Yes! I don't know how it works. I was going to figure that out, but you saved me the trouble.
Mr.
Postponed
Chelly,
it for like a month.
hi, Mr. Chelly, Plunder Medic. You will never know. V&K, Vathan the 12. I never get these names properly, but I'll give it a go. Virgo Pros. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. For us, it's just gone 9 p.m. here in the UK. We will be playing up until midnight and around that, so stay with us. Now, are we all ready to play some games?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you to Anger Manager for the follow as well. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you, Anger Manager. We do shout outs. If you have any questions for Kelsey, put them in chat. Our moderators will collate them, and we'll ask the questions. Now, last episode, as I mentioned, Ilana Thistlefoot joined us.
Thistlefoot.
Thistlefoot. I've just been doing a load of talking. I need a drink. So, Thistlefoot. And a lot kind of happened. And in the second, as I was watching, so basically the heroes had to go to a giant dam. This is a Thessalonian relic. Okay. And when the heroes got there, there were some ogres, there were some trolls. But during this whole kind of travel, Lana joined us. And as her story unraveled, it turns out she is related to our boy Rupp in some way. And during the second half of the adventure, it turned out that she was actually from the future. And just as you started to ask some interesting questions about the future, she sacrificed herself to save the people in the Hook Mountain region, as this dam was going to collapse over the weight of the water and to make sure that the flood was controlled. Now, after that encounter, the heroes have made their way slowly back to Fort Rannoch. It's been a few days just to contemplate on what had happened over the past few days, and also what has happened from their entire journey. If they start piecing some of the bits of these puzzles together, and what has come out of that. So, who wants to start? Rupp's asleep.
No. You're awake now. It's been a few
Rupp
days.
has not come out of his room in several days. Also, you've had more stragglers from Turtleback Ferry. You've had various survivors from Black Arrows have come in. As we mentioned in the last session, there's been no senior leaders from the Black Arrows, so you have been able to take control, get everybody organised, empty out the food stores, get the survivors back from Turtleback Ferry, keep them in the safety of Fort Rannoch, start the rebuilding process of Fort Rannoch, and I've even staved off a few random ogres here and there. What do you wish to do?
So, if I promise not to mention the P word, do you think we might be able to have a conversation about Ilana, what happened a few days ago, and what this may all mean since we all met in Sandpoint several months ago?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been talking to the big guy.
Tulkas.
No, the other.
Has been talking
the
to
other
me
one,
quite a bit.
Yeah, I've shown the butterfly on my coin. You know, the big guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Getting through it. It's another setback, shall we say? But yeah, I'm ready. Let's do something. I've got to get my mind off stuff. Are we off doing something?
Rob, are you sure you don't want to talk?
I don't do that, do I?
Well, maybe you should. Maybe that might help.
Well,
only when you're ready. But
yeah,
we're always
I
here
mean,
to listen.
I did a lot of talking up there. I got some stuff out. I thought, you guys took it quite well. I thought you weren't you weren't pissed off at me or anything, which usually is the reaction.
Why would we be upset with Europe?
Well, finding out that your friends, done bad things is not, you know, can be.
Rup, I'm from Riddleport. Most of my friends have done bad things.
That's true.
The past is the past, Rob. It's what you do now and in the future that determines your destiny.
Yeah, and I think, like, well, everyone can be forgiven, right? I hope.
Yes.
So maybe I have a chance. So yeah. What next, Elias? You're good at plans.
I thought we weren't going to mention the P word, but okay.
Oh, that is the P word. I was thinking it
Well,
was something else entirely.
I've grown to like it a bit more since it gives me a bit of structure and purpose a little bit. You know, especially when I don't have anything to do.
Rup, that makes me feel so pleased to hear you say that my efforts have started to have an effect on you.
Well, I mentioned it once, but that was when you weren't up for a plan at all. It's when you really just want to fireball a house down. But
well, we all like to burn off some steam every now and again. Anyway, the thing with Alana, there was so much more. I think we could have learnt. She talked about these stories that she used to sing of the story of Arkland, and this was a name we haven't heard before.
Yeah.
And we heard Kurzog again. We heard Kurzog from the demon that was trapped in the dam, and we've heard the name Kurzog before back on the island that was shaped like a head. We saw that ghostly image, and it played through the speech, and Kurzog was mentioned. Is this the person we're seeking? Is this ultimately the person that's in charge, or is this Arkland the next step beyond? Every time we take a step forward, we reveal another name in the chain. We took down Harrison's brother, and then we went to Magnamar and Justice Ironbriar and the Cult of Norgorber. And then we found the name Zanisha in the Shadow Tower, and then we found the letter that led us to the next step, which was Lucretia in Turtleback Ferry. And with Lucretia still out there somewhere, she was collecting these names, these tokens for her master. It all seems to be tied up with greed, and greed is one of the seven deadly sins, and the magic of Thessalonia is all built around the seven deadly sins.
Yeah, I wanted to apologize maybe for my actions back there. I was concerned about, I don't know how time works. If she tells us things we're not supposed to know, it may change our fate. And we probably could have, maybe it was a sign. I mean, my god affects the fates all the time. That's my, he's given me some power to control it somewhat. So maybe it was a sign, and I didn't see it.
Do not be so hard on yourself, Rob.
Well, yeah, but I was just trying to protect her and protect me and protect us. If she didn't, if I thought she was, or we were in danger of doing something wrong, I didn't want to risk it. But if there's more at stake, maybe we do have to take some risks a lot of the time.
Rob, you are small of stature, but you are big of heart, and I trust that whatever you do from now on, it's going to be for good.
Yeah, I try. I don't know.
We can but try, my friend. It's all we do.
Yeah.
All I always say is this: we can't know the future. We can only choose one of many paths to walk down, with the information that we have. There was no right or wrong answer. There was just information or not information. Iona chose not to give us information. So now we have to choose a path forward based on that. Even if she'd have given us information, we don't know that was right or wrong. We would have simply walked down one path and another version of us would have walked down the other path. Those futures would have still have existed.
Yeah.
But the path we're on now, we're walking down with no information.
Of course. I mean...
So we're in control of our own fate right now, in this very instant. The next decision we make is the one that takes us on the next path. We haven't been in that situation yet. And this is good because we are the ones that now have the power. This is not a test. This is our decision to make.
Cool.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, well said, Elias.
So personally, I'd like to go and screw some ogres over.
That sounds like
I'm
a good
glad-
idea.
on the end.
I'm glad you said over there, Elias. I was worried for a second. Yes, I agree. It's been too long since I have split any ogre head.
Have you split any ogre heads yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Separated the ogre head from body.
I also seem to have been blessed with some new stuff that I'd like to try. So,
Whoa.
Yeah, likewise.
Upgrades.
I have. Sorry, Harrison.
That's right. Oh, you go.
I have some new powers that will allow us to travel at great speeds. So I think we could get back to Magnimar in a couple of days if we wish.
Oh.
Oh, that is impressive, Elias.
I was going to say, the closer we get to finding Lucretia and avenging my brother, I want to have some stern words, hopefully maybe leading to me chopping her head off, but like we were
Once I
supposed to
agree
do.
with you.
Well, Lucretia is still around, and that is a good point, Harrison. I too would like to have another encounter with Lucretia and maybe find some information. We, like I say, the time now is ours, but we do need to. We need to find out who her master was, and the only way we're going to do that is to find her. Maybe here in Fort Rannick, we could find somebody who has some tracking ability. The spell that she used has a limited range. She may have teleported away from the immediate surroundings of Fort Rannick, but the rest of the way she'd have had to have gone on foot, and that flood didn't appear that long after she disappeared. So she couldn't have got far. She may have got caught up in it, and there may be traces of her still around. Maybe we can find a tracker somewhere in Fort Rannick to aid
You
us in finding
say
her.
you need a tracker.
Hi, yes. Hi. I'm Elias.
Hello, Iona. I work here, I suppose. But
You're one of the Black Arrows.
yes, I am. I haven't met you yet, but I know I've seen you around here, but I just couldn't help it over here. You said you needed a tracker, and I heard someone else say something about killing ogres, and I like both of those things. If I could be of any
That was
help.
me twice.
Well, I was listening very carefully then, because if I could help you, those are two things that I am somewhat skilled at.
Another blessing. Amazing.
How fortuitous.
How the world works, right?
Now hold on, Iona. I appreciate the help, but you have to answer us 3 questions before you can lead us. How many people have you killed?
People. Well,
As Harrison is distracting Iona, I'm going to whip out the old scroll and do a quick check to see if her name is on there.
Okay.
On the greed list.
On the great
she's
list,
going
yeah.
off like, well, if you count an ogre as a person, or maybe 2, since they're so large, I guess you could say 70?
I'm doing the Walking Dead list of
Yes.
questions.
I thought you were going to rock out the Holy Grail list of questions.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
seen that. Well, I have seen the film, but
I'll admit I haven't watched The Walking Dead. Okay, so
No, I haven't.
Okay.
no idea what
Dead
you're
Eye.
talking about.
so hopefully Harrison is satisfied with Iona's responses. so far, but I don't know. I don't know if I can tell that she seemed like an honest person, that she's telling the truth. Whether I get any weird heebie-jeebie.
Deception check.
I could do that.
Heebie-jeebies.
So I rolled a 5, and I imagine it's probably society I add on top.
No, perception.
Oh, perception. Okay, fine. Plus 17. Yeah. Well, it's over 20, so.
I don't think you get any heebie-jeebies off of her, to be fair. But there we go.
Okay. Well, you passed the test, Iona. I think you're safe to travel with us.
Harrison's so rigorous.
Harrison, you are always so suspicious of everybody.
He just stands there and goes, yes.
He thinks everyone's suspicious, but he's the most suspicious person you'll ever come across.
With my glove on my head. You know,
come on.
Is there? She's like looking at that glove like, that might be a problem, but I don't know yet. So.
Just go with it. We've just gone with it for now.
Iona, are you an experienced tracker?
Yes, I range in the mountains here, often with my companions, well, those who are left alive now. But it's a difficult life up here, but yes, I've been doing this for a while. And there's some things I want to find out too. So I'm sure our mission would coincide in a useful way.
It's good if you know the lay of the land. I believe we are going to have to go into the mountains to find the rest of the ogres. Would you agree, Elias?
Yes.
They're not going to be in town, I don't think.
They might be in the lake. You never know. Drowned.
I'd quite like to take a surprise visit on that one that we promoted a couple days ago at the dam. That would be quite fun.
Just as a question, what does Iona look like?
Yeah, so she's wearing like some tattered black leathers, and she has blonde hair pulled back and green eyes and a scar across the bridge of her nose. But she's rather young, kind of in her mid-20s, and looks like she's been living the hard life out here in the wilderness for a long time.
She's human then, is she? Or
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is Iona's name on the list?
No, it is not.
Good stuff.
Everyone we meet now is going to get checked on the list. Everybody.
I'll check to make sure that you lie on the list.
You're going to think you're Father Christmas there.
Maybe you should.
Yeah. Do you check it twice? Or?
It's a list of greedy people that we got from Lucretia. Yeah.
People that have traded something in for something else, I think. So, Iona, you are willing to come with us?
Yes, certainly. If we can track the ogres down with greater force, the better.
I agree.
Well,
what tracking abilities do you have? I have. I'm going to assume that the ogres are in the mountains. They're at the dam, and I guess their holdout isn't going to be down in the valleys because we'd have come across it by now.
Right, they're up in the mountains mostly. I think I could get us to what I believe is one of their enclaves. It's a clan hold in the Hook Mountains. I've journeyed near and around it, and I think we could approach it carefully.
I'll roll up the map that we have of the region. Would you be able to show me where on the map?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
So once I've identified the general area, I think I can get us there, fairly quickly. I have a new spell I'm itching to try out. It's walking the shadow plane. I can get us to this rough area, within a mile or two, and then maybe you can pick up the trail from there and track more closely. But at least it would cut out a lot of traveling time. Get us there quickly, so to speak.
Safe to walk?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah, it'd be fine.
The shadow plane?
Wait. I like shadow plane. Just
yes.
have interest.
This is where he pulls out a contract and makes you sign it. It's like, here you go, just sign this, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We are not liable for any injuries you
Yeah.
sustain in the shadow plane.
Please keep your arms and hands inside the vehicle at all times.
Yeah. Where's that?
Yeah, well, it's on the border between the ethereal plane and material plane. You know, it's ultimately a place that we can slip into and pass with relative ease over great distances. In essence, we would occupy the space of our own shadows and travel the spaces in between. You know, the shortest path is a straight line, and that's effectively what we'll be taking.
Is it safe?
Yeah, of course it is. Yes.
I'm all in.
You go
Yeah,
first.
just stick with me. Stick with me, and you'll be fine. And if if it gets too much for you, you may end the spell at your leisure. But of course, you'll drop out wherever we are at that particular point in time in the journey.
It
So I don't
sounds
know.
like
but
fun.
when the sun's quite high, shadow's really small. Does it matter?
Just walk along in Tulkasis, it'll be fine.
Okay. Right.
About traveling during the night.
That's probably the best time. Everything's
Everything's in shadow. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Sorry, I
not
thought you meant-
metaphorical then.
I
It's
thought you meant a
actual
literal shadow from the sun pointing down.
The darkness is always there if you look for it.
Elias, you sometimes
got
say
quite
words that
deep, quite
confuse me.
quick.
Deep.
I guess that happens quite a lot.
My education, it's up to a level of yeah, but not
Primary
the
school.
words that you say are very intellectual.
Some may say cliched.
I'm just gonna tap Harrison.
Elias has not steered us wrong so far. I do not see any reason we should be skeptical of his abilities.
I'm sure he's learnt new tricks.
Yes, I have. Yes, quite a few new tricks.
Right then, where do we start? Is it? Do you just like jump in?
Well, I'll cast a spell. We'll ease on in gently. You know, just stick with me.
Okay.
You have complete control over the spell, and if at any time you feel uncomfortable, then you can just end the spell, and you will step out the shadow plane back into the material plane. But that will occur at that point in the journey. So we might have only gone a short distance. So in mechanical terms, every 3 minutes we spend in the shadow plane will equate to 1 hour's journey on the material plane. So we travel 20 times faster.
Okay.
I say we tie ourselves together. If anyone tries to leave, bad.
Oh my god, would that mean that they sort of like drop out the shadow but get dragged along really, really fast?
Oh
Or would it cut the rope?
Bumping off of rocks and boulders.
An interplanar rope.
This will be the first time I've cast it, so perhaps we should leave the experimentation for a different time.
I trust you, Elias. I have no reason not to.
What if we strap an ogre to that rope?
That sounds like the kind of thing I expect to come from Elias, not you, Brup.
Well,
He's rubbing off on him.
making a ogre vomit is. I'll do that, and then you just tie the rope up. It's fine.
I think that would bring back too many bad memories for Elias.
Oh, it's fine. He'll just cast fireball on instinct.
we do not want emo Elias back.
No, we don't. We won't go anywhere near any farmsteads. That's and then Okay, where do we sign up?
Do we need to gather
Just
any
add your name to
equipment
this
first?
piece of paper here. Right. So I mean, should we head off? Have you got enough supplies?
Let me just to get my thing. I'd run off and grab my accoutrement of like bat. Well, I've got a bat belt type thing, don't we? Magic items.
There isn't much left here anyway, apart from a bit of food. I don't think we could get anything extra we haven't got already.
Agreed. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I get everybody to huddle around, and
Before
I
we
begin
go-
the casting of the spell.
Do we have to hold hands, Elias?
If it would make you feel safer,
It
go
would.
ahead,
It would.
Yelena.
I'm gonna bend down and give Izzy some fuss and just say, I'm gonna leave you here because I don't want the same thing to happen before. I don't know if you'll be able to come back.
Oh,
So these folk will look after you,
no, not more sad
come-
things.
and we'll come back for you on the way back. Because we'll be coming back with Iona, and then I'll go and join everyone.
Whilst
Because I
Yelena's
don't
having,
think she's getting another get out of jail free card.
whilst Yelena's having this special moment with Izzy, I'm gonna say to Rupp, "Where's your lizard?"
I've still got him. Get him out my bracer.
Oh, you're storing him inside something.
Yeah,
You
my
keep
bracer.
him inside your gloves of holding or whatever that.
My bracer. So I've got some bracers as well. So I've got the gloves and I've just loosened my bracer and keep him in there.
Oh, right, okay.
You've got some electrical bracers now.
Well, yeah, it sometimes it wakes me up at night, but yeah, it's kind of he's getting a bit big though.
Yeah.
You have to ride him soon. Rob, if you are worried at all, you can ride on my back through the shadow plane, if you wish.
Oh, that would be great. That's awesome. It's where you feel most safe, right? I'm sure Elias would hate it, but
Yes, he would. Yeah.
yeah, I'm game. I can just walk right off with airwalk, and we're fine.
Totally meta game. All I can picture when you two talk about that is is the Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah. Crazy little munchkin on my shoulders.
It's just a cleric buffing the guy below him with like...
Oh, that's it. Next
Yeah,
time
yeah.
we get in a fight, I want you on top of Toxic's head
Sure.
with drumsticks that cast heal.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
hit me on the head.
Right.
Okay. Right. So dragging this
Back on track.
Okay. So gather around everybody. Let's do this. I'll start to perform the ceremony. I'll burn a small piece of paper, take the ash, and I'll ceremoniously smear it on everyone's forehead. This is completely unnecessary. It'll ramp up.
It's a good visual effect.
It's a good visual effect, and Rupp's nerves are now through the roof. I'll say some indecipherable words in Thessalonian, something along the lines of reciting my laundry list. But eventually I'll get round to casting the simple shadow walking incantation. We all suddenly stretch out into our almost midday shadows, and our spirits start to inhabit those 2D shapes and elongate out. Our perspective shifts from 2D to the 2D. We start to see that the world is made up of the gaps in between spaces, the material plane and the ethereal plane, these dark lines that bisect the point between the two. And if you follow those, then there's a very clear and direct path upwards into the mountains. So I'll grab everybody's ethereal 2D avatars and we'll head in that direction.
What sort of sound does it make, Steve?
It's eerily silent.
If are we all paper thin, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we communicate with each other during this, or is it?
Yeah, we can talk and communicate, and you
should
can
have
see our avatars.
It's definitely silent.
Now he's gonna cut jokes all the way there.
Did you know about that rabbit? That
Can I cast silence on Harrison?
Are we there? Yeah. Right. Okay. So while you're doing this, reaching the base of Hook Mountain is actually no problem, especially when you've got a skilled ranger on hand to kind of take you through the mountains. Don't forget this. As you've been into Fort Rannoch, as we know, when we travelled here, you're kind of midway into autumn. You're now hitting the outskirts of winter, especially as you climb higher into the Hook Mountains. The rain starts to turn to cold, icy wind, and eventually that rain starts to turn to snow. Now, normally we'd have the last few miles would include several kind of frightening climbs, but considering Elias has just done that magic spell, I could just throw all that out. So we'll do something else
We're doing
instead.
you a favour. You said you were tired, so we're just making sure that you can finish at a reasonable time.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
Do you remember all those stories about players screwing up DM's plans? It's like...
It's the look on his face earlier when I purposely said we can get back to Maiden really quickly, and he's going, "I prep that."
that's next week. Right. What I'll do is I'll change the screens and I will put up a map for everyone to view.
Map,
if this
you
is
say?
the right button. No, not that button.
Yep.
Doop, doop, doop. Not that button. Not that button. Right, this button. Not that button. This button. Not that button.
While you're doing that, Dave, I just want to say, Mick.
Oh dear. And there's no kobolds about.
That
That's
button.
in
There we
honour.
go. Blimey. Right, we got there. I think in the end. There we go. Now, we're not going to be using Dungeon Fog for this session. What we are going to say is this takes you to a raised area. So you're in a mountain, and exactly as I was going to say, Kelsey says, she knows where one of the clan holds are. It's a cave entrance straight into a mountain. It's down a kind of a deep gully inside. And the entrance is spanned by what seems to be like a giant animal rib cage. Now you are up here on a different area, but from where you kind of hunker down as the spell starts to end and you pop back into 3D existence, you can see that in this kind of D1 area are two ogres. Seem to be on guard duty. One of them's a bit bored. He's just standing around kicking a bit of snow, and the other one is obviously going for a kind of a pace up and down. Every now and then bends down, picks up some snow, makes a snowball, and tries to throw it at his mate. Hopelessly missing with every shot. Okay, so we're just going to use this as a base. Everyone should have a copy of this for your own reference, but this is just so the audience can see a little bit. We will not be using this for the most of the game. We're going to use theatre of the mind for all of this.
Power of the imagination.
The imagination, which is always a good thing. So, there are constant flurries of windborne snow and frost lashing at a gaping hole in the side of Hook Mountain. I even have, if this works, my players won't be able to hear this, but the audience will. Please let me know if it's too loud. But we have some icy sound effects and some wind and some stuff going on in the background. It might be too annoying. If so, we'll turn it off, but we're going to give it a try. So,
can they still hear us okay?
I hope so.
Yes. Can you hear us?
We'll wait until the chat will catch up. So, you can see two ogres. You're definitely in the right place on guard duty. What do you wish to do?
Are we slightly below them, or is it? Where can we see them from?
I'll give you the high ground, so you have a little bit of advantage. Okay.
Oh, we have the high ground.
You have the high ground.
They have no chance. No chance.
No chance. Don't do it. 5, 10, 15, 10, 20.
Well, Tracker, what do you propose we do?
And the ogre is about 80 or 90 foot away.
90 feet. So, normally what we'd want to do is silence the guards before they can scream for help, but do any of you have a means to do that?
Yeah. I can cast silence in an area.
Oh, literally.
Yeah. They'd have to be 10 feet around each other, but...
Yeah. One is kind of stationary to the left of the cave entrance, so he's just kind of, kicking the remnant snowballs as the other guy kind of throws them over to him. You can see on the wall behind him, the cave, the rock is like every now and then there's a boom, 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 a snowball splat.
Elias, when one throws a snowball at the other, could you turn it into a fireball?
Yes, I could, but that might be a bit loud.
Oh, But it would be fun.
It would
and
be
they would
fun.
blame each other.
Yes.
Could you not
yeah,
turn it into an icicle that's sharp?
No, I kind of
Is there a
I kind of
ice
specialize in
equivalent?
fire spells.
I was going to say you specialize in making things go bang, not making things go.
I mean, the screaming at them wouldn't be the best option, would it? I guess.
I mean, I quite like the silence idea. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Well, I can silence them.
Do we want to try and make them come further away from the entrance before you do this? Because if we silence them when they're on the entrance, they may twig that they cannot hear each other, and then run inside.
Well, it affects it affects one person, but it affects them, so they'll walk around and it'll move.
Mm-hmm.
If we can distract them somehow and bring them out and maybe just take them out, it'll be really quiet.
Yeah. Or even if we just lured one away and silenced it, and then we'd have an easier time with the other.
Yes,
Yeah.
good idea.
As long as he can't see. I don't have one for that.
Rob, are you staying on my shoulders in this fight?
Sure, yeah, that sounds like a great
I,
idea.
I can try something. I can try and command one of them to come here.
No, that is a good plan. You could maybe do that with one and silence the other. I don't know.
I can silence them both.
Ah.
If they're within a certain distance of each other. So, like, if we just lure them here, we're fine. Like, hopefully... Harrison, are you sneaky?
Yeah. Well, I in my experience, I've learned how to be more stealthily. My other persona that I am now has the ability of being a bit more stealthy.
Sorry.
Okay, sure. Can you, maybe sneak up and create a diversion, make them come to us?
Sure. I mean, if you want to set up the diversion first, or and I can go in first and
Well, if
distract
you go in first, because I can't. Well, no, not in. We want you to bring them towards us, Harrison. Them here. No.
I can command. I can just shout at one of them and get him to come over.
True, but that'd be quite loud.
Yes.
Guys, 10 gold pieces says this goes horribly wrong.
20 gold pieces says this goes terrible.
Perhaps we can mimic the voice of another ogre so they come investigate.
That is a good idea. We did hear the ogre on the dam. So if anybody can replicate voices, we know what one sounds like.
Oh, I've got a thing. I've got ghostly sounds. So I could have a sound emanate from somewhere around. It'll be they're not really voices. They're like creepy and stuff. But like,
what like his free candy? Yeah.
They're just like.
What if someone buried me in some snow and I can?
Oh no! Come on.
And I can go.
Left you
Help! Help!
I don't think ogres would be particularly good at that.
I love it.
Would Iona know how to mimic ogre sounds since they're her primary sort of prey?
Oh, that's handy.
Like the way you can make turkey sounds if you're a turkey hunter?
Hold on. People hunt turkeys? Aren't they really stupid? Like turkeys, I mean, not the
Not
people
hard.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you can try. I mean, this is RPG. No?
Yeah,
sorry, I was looking at a different question.
Okay.
Maverick's in live chat and he said, did Dave ever have control? I was like, no. Not now.
It would be a performance check, wouldn't it? Or something like that if you were trying to mimic something.
Oh, that's not my strong
Can she
suit.
mimic ogre sounds, Dave?
I would say you've hunted them well enough, yes. Ogre sounds, as you know, ogres can talk, but their language is poor, but they do make a lot of kind of grunts and noises. It's just, they're 9 foot tall, they're kind of big and stocky, they're not graceful.
Yeah. So maybe I could say something
Ogrist.
like, "Oh, look, food."
I just wanted Iona to roleplay an ogre. That's all.
Yeah, come on, deep voice, deep voice.
There's food.
Okay. So, as you shout
a
that
log.
out above the
Spat my
wind,
water out.
Can I ask a question?
go ahead.
As she's doing that, I'd like to, wrap up the command spell with Iona's "it's food" impression, so the command actually triggers with her saying it rather than me saying something.
Okay.
Would you allow that?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay,
Good idea.
awesome. I'll finish the casting the spell surreptitiously as Iona finishes her phrase, and I'll extend spell so it goes over 60 feet, and I'll just pick one of the ogres, the one that's closest to us. So can you make a will saving throw, please?
A will saving throw. Oh, natural 20.
Oh,
First
Oh
roll
my
of the
God.
session. Yes.
Unfortunately, the creature is unaffected.
Ooh.
So it feels no compulsion to follow that command, other than its natural ogre instincts to come and get food.
There is a natural ogre instinct as one hears it. Another natural 20. So both of
not like
them
how this
And you level up
hear,
dice.
hear the voice. It must be as you shout out, it's food. It just seems to be picked up by the mountains. You know how to reverberate your voice. Boom, boom, boom. And she goes, food, food, food. And they go, food? Did you hear that? Food. Come on. So the one who's out in the middle, he just kind of stomps off, huge big grin on your face. He's coming directly for you. He hasn't kind of seen you, but he's coming directly for you. Don't forget, wind and snow is in the way. The other guy's like, oh. Throws down his kind of bits and pieces he's kind of carrying. He turns around and he kind of looks down into the deep cave entrance. And then he picks up, say like a 6-foot long pole. He's got a flaming torch on it. He's like, yeah. And he goes off and he's about 30-40 feet behind the other guy. He's like, oh yeah, food.
can we? Is there any tree line here, Dave?
No, this is pretty barren. All you've got is some boulders, some rock crops, lots and lots of snow, and the wind and the weather.
Is there any way to hide, or is there big rocks around?
Yeah,
I assume
there's loads of big rocks and outcroppings. You can.
Yeah,
can we? You all kind of hunkered down, watching what's going on, coming up.
Yeah, so I assume we're all going to sort of like semi-hide, as it were.
Yeah.
Harrison starts to build his little grave in snow.
Snow
and
castle.
He's gonna lay in it just like this, just kind of like waiting for the ogres to.
I just had a flashback from our game on Sunday where Cork put his head into a horse, but that's a story for another time.
Which end?
Oh,
The
dear.
middle.
Oh god.
Could I cast some ghostly sounds as well?
Ooh.
Like some animal sounds, like in pain, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fox in pain, hopefully.
Is that what they sound like?
Like, well, what does the fox say?
Oh, if you've ever heard them, they scream horribly.
Yeah, they do.
Mm.
Okay, and then I'll hide as much as I can on Tolkus's back.
I must work out some sort of harness mechanism thing.
Yeah. We've got to get something
At some
going.
point. Thinking like Big Hero 6, you know?
Mm. Something
So,
like that.
as the first ogre kind of comes around the outcropping, he doesn't see anyone at all. He's like quite excited, looking for food. Where is it? Hello?
Has he
Food?
stopped?
The force disappeared.
I'll turn that off, Dad. Don't worry.
Hello? Food?
Chris, did you mean to mute your mic instead of turning your camera off?
Hello? Food? Food?
So he
Food.
stopped. Yeah, Dave?
Food? Food?
Has the other one caught up with him yet?
Not yet. He will do in a minute, and I've got to do 2 voices.
How far away is the furthest one back
He's
from
catching up
us?
pretty quick. He's only about sort of
And
40
how
foot
far
now.
away? How far away is he from the cave entrance?
Oh, they've travelled at least 90 foot by now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to take a pot shot at the one behind.
Mm-hmm.
With telekinetic projectile, please. I'm going to extend the spell range to
Okay.
60 feet. So I'd like to hit the one at the back.
Yep.
Roll to hit.
Chris, are you still going to silence them when they?
It seems
both
like,
get
well,
it?
it's windy and snowy. It doesn't seem like there's going to be,
Yeah.
like, it won't
It-
travel that
Yeah,
far.
I've got a
right?
feeling that we're going to be far enough from the entrance that it won't matter anyway. But
So
That's a 28 to hit.
28 to hit. That hits.
28.
That's not very good damage for the amount of dice that I rolled. That's 16 points of damage.
Okay. Yep. Who wants to go next? Otherwise, we're going to be in initiative.
I'd like to huck a spear, please.
Go
At
ahead.
the nearest
Spear.
one.
How far away from us is the first one, Dave?
The first one's now about 40 foot away. He's just
40 foot.
aimlessly wandering around in the snow, shouting out, "Food!"
25.
25 hits.
Right. Oh, 2 4s. So that's.
Oh, and by the way, Dave, you won the vote by 1, so you get a hero
Oh.
token.
Well done, Dave.
So that's.
Yeah, thanks, audience. Cheers for that.
Thank you very much, viewers, especially Erin mods.
Really happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
15 points of positive damage on the one closest.
Okay.
As
So
I
as
huck it off Tulkus's shoulders.
so you managed to hit the first one, and then the second one as well is also getting hit. We're straight into initiative as they both kind of what's going on, and they bring out their big kind of hooked, their ogre hooks, running into attack. Ambush.
Let's get that out of the way.
Ooh, nat 20.
Oh, rubbish.
Okay, so let's go around the table as quick as we can. Elias,
19.
Elena,
You
They're sorry, numbers. 19 as well.
I'm going to put you ahead of Elias. Iona,
17.
17. Okay. Rup.
38.
Well done.
I'm glad you said over 30. I was about to feel
Yeah.
bad.
Tulkas
I got 30 dead.
and Harrison.
36.
Okay, we're going to start with Rup, followed by Harrison.
I think I'm gonna huck another spear.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna summon the purple divine spear again, and the closest one again.
Yeah.
So that is 34 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. They have a weak armor class. It's only 17, so if you
Yeah.
get it, you know you're going to hit.
Jesus, really?
That is 15 points of damage.
Okay. Okay.
And that would be me because I can't move.
Harrison, you're up.
Well, technically, I suppose you could jump down, but it would
Yeah.
be an action, wouldn't it, to dismount the Tulkas?
Have the ogres seen us yet?
They have now,
Okay.
which is why because we rolled initiative. So yes.
Sweet. Okay, that's fine. So what I will do is I will unsheath my short swords, and run over to the nearest one. I mean, I've got. How far away are they at this moment in time? About 40 feet still.
The first one is, let's say, is now 30 foot away.
Okay.
So you can get them fairly easy.
Okay, so I'm gonna go up to him.
Delphi Jedi, thank you.
Use my double strike, and we'll see if they both hit. So the first roll is 34. Does that hit?
That hits. Yeah, 17 you have to beat.
Okay, they both hit then. So let's roll damage.
Oh,
So-
the damn.
First attack, not a very good roll. 2, 1, 4. So 8 points of damage. 8 points of damage with 1 point of. Sorry, 7 points with 1 point of bleeding.
Yep. You're going to have to remind me about the bleeding, but yeah.
Yep, I will remind you. And the second attack is 10 points of damage.
Okay. Good hits. Tolkus, followed by Yelena.
You said we were 40 away from them, did you?
But about
30.
the closest one is 30, and yeah.
Oh,
one's
right,
catching
okay.
up.
I shall use one action to get to the 30 feet away
Okay.
guy.
So you're gonna, in melee range.
Second action, I shall attack him with my great axe, which is currently above my head, avoiding Rup's head. It's like slightly off to the side, and it looks like almost the snow in the air has fused with the blade, and it's like it's cold. You can see it's really, really cold. And I'm going to bring it down onto that ogre, and literally I'm only rolling the d20 to see if I get a 1, because I have plus 20 to hit. So, oh, guess what? It's not a 1, it's an 8.
Well done.
So it's 28. That hits an armor class of 28. And he's going to take 11 plus 7, which is 18, plus 4, which is 22. And plus another 7, which is
With my
something,
human calculators,
29.
Keep up with this one.
29, and plus 4, which is 33. 33 damage.
Okay.
That was-
How would you like to kill this one? Because this one
okay.
is in pieces already.
Oh, okay. Almost like as I'm charging at him really full pelt, and I take a massive swing, not expecting it to do what it's about to do. It goes straight through his head and straight through his body all the way down his groin, and he just goes. Like
Does
that.
it freeze him on the way?
Yes, it freezes him. So there's specifically no blood. So it's a PG-13. It's not R-rated.
No blood splatter at all.
Yeah.
As he brings his axe up, I'm just gonna flop off into the snow.
Oh, you should have grabbed it. So when I go like that, you fly over.
Oh god. I flop off into the snow and just go. Ah.
I do have one action left, but I can't attack anything because the other one is how far away from here?
He's gaining fast. He's now about 20 foot away.
Oh, okay. So what I would do is I will just stand my ground and prepare for him to get to me.
Okay. So you're obviously out in the open. Rupp is splashed down into the snow. Yelena.
He's doing snow angels.
As long as it's not yellow snow, you're fine. Yelena, you see
lemon
Tolkus.
flavour.
You see Tolkus split this ogre in half. He's already been severely wounded anyway, but you see Tolkus split him in half, and then the next one bounds out into, out of the weather. What would you like to do?
Look slightly astonished at what Tolkus has just done, and then shake myself. Take enough steps forward so that I'm 15 foot away from the other one.
Yeah.
And I will hold out my hands, and I'd like you to make a reflex save, please, as I cast Burning Hands.
Nice.
Reflex. Nice. I got an unnatural 19.
What is that in total? So unnatural 19, that is a fail.
Ooh.
So take 5 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so out through the storm, the wind and the hail and snow, you burst forth fire. He does not like that. He's trying to get away from the fire. He starts to turn around and starts to try to run back to the cave, shouting, "Ambush! Ambush!" He's got his torch up and he's waving it like mad. Ambush!
He's also a torch type, is he not now?
He's not on fire, but he is trying to push, put it out.
Okay.
He did get burned. These ones are wearing, you notice from like these two in particular, they're wearing more armor than what the previous ogres you've witnessed down in Fort Rannoch and in the woodland area. Everyone was just kind of had leathers or furs or piecemeal bits and pieces. These ones are actually more constructed leather armor.
Do they look more organised?
No.
Or just better equipped?
Better equipped. Not better organised, but they are better equipped. This is armor that is purposely been fitted to them.
Ah, right, okay.
This is not piecemeal. I'll chuck a bear pelt over them and stuff like that. Pots and pans. This is some good stuff. Okay, so he starts running away. Yelena, was there anything else you wanted to do?
Nope, that will be
Okay.
it.
Elias, followed by Iona.
I'll take a pot shot at the one that's running away, please.
Go ahead.
Try and silence him. Jesus H Christ, I even changed dice. That's a nat one.
Oh no!
No.
So what was
Can you hero
pot
dice
shotting
it?
with? Snowball?
Sorry, yeah. I forgot I had done that bit of it. So I pull out another sling stone. I'll get ready to cast telekinetic projectile to take a shot at him as he's running away. Unfortunately, I get the words all back to front, and it does some unspecified thing that you were about to tell me.
You miss, basically. It goes shooting off towards.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Well,
Right, next
It's off
person.
the side
Next
of
person.
Elena's head.
It goes shooting past the ogre towards the opening of the cave, and it seems to. You can't really make it out in this distance. It seems to whack off of something. Something seems to fall off, hit the snow, and it seems to go into the cave entrance. Nothing else happens. Iona. Oh, yeah, go on. Is there more?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
totally just giving it. So I decided to hit the alarm bell because I figured if we get them all out here, then we can just pick them off one by one. I hope that was okay with everyone. I know I
was
didn't
not the
talk about
plan,
that playing
Elias.
in
That was
advance.
the plan.
Elias, was that your plan?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so
Okay.
clever.
Okay.
Always one step ahead of everyone else.
I'm not buying it.
Okay, Iona, what would you like to do?
Here
Well,
I am,
I-
making snow angel. Sorry.
Yay. So, I guess to prevent this guy from getting away, as if they don't know about us yet, I'm gonna cast Tanglefoot on him.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have a save DC of 25.
Okay. No. I got 18. So, no.
Yes.
Would you like
Does
to
that mean-
describe
so-
what happens?
Yes, so there's some choked little scrawny plants poking out of the the mountains, and they just expand into these huge vines and wrap around his legs and hold him in place.
Okay.
Oh,
So you see him topple down. He's still kind of got the torch out in front of him. He's kind of waving. He's still screaming, even though he's face planted.
All right.
Right.
Well, does each person get 3 actions?
Yes.
yeah, and different things have different action costs.
So depending on that
So
spell,
that
it might have been a
costs
one.
2.
So you can
No,
do
you got
one
one
more
act-
thing.
Left.
So
can
then I'm gonna
attack.
shoot my bow at him.
Ross?
Is there any way to aim for his hand to make him drop the torch?
You.
Is that like
you
a called
can,
shot? Is that a thing?
You're going to have a penalty on that
Mm-hmm.
to do that anyway. Plus, he's technically prone, so harder to hit as well. So
Ooh.
roll the dice.
I'm
and then
gonna do it
decide.
anyway.
You can
It'll be
aim,
cool.
aim for the hand.
All
Get nat
right,
20,
I'm aiming
you'll
for
get
the
the head.
hand. I rolled a 14 plus bonuses.
A lot of bonuses, probably.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
just
Yeah, a
a
lot of
one.
I think my
bonuses.
first shot is plus 17, but I don't know if. Yeah, my first shot is at plus 17.
Yeah. It definitely hits, and I will let you hit him in the hand. So he's basically the one that's kind of holding the torch around. He's laying prone, and then suddenly you just pin his hand into the snow itself.
Ha!
He is done.
Yay!
It's now my go. I will try to break free of the Nope. You can see him
Those nat 20s,
struggling.
come on.
He's struggling, but he's pinned. I've pinned twice. I can only struggle against one of them, and it was a bad throw. Bad roll of the dice. So he's struggling down there. It's now top of the round. Rupp and Harrison. What would you like to do?
I would like to. I would like to cast Daze on him because that's funny. So, yeah, I will. Yeah, he has to make a will save, please.
No, I got a natural one plus my will. So it's still a natural
well,
one.
he's stunned, isn't he? One.
Yeah.
I think.
Critical fail.
You just see him stop struggling, and you just see his head just kind of sink down into the snow. He's not moving.
Yes.
Okay, right. So he's pretty dead. Or
He
stunned.
will be if he doesn't pick his head up soon.
Okay. So that is it just my wisdom, I think. So that's just 4 points of damage, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Right, Harrison.
And then I will get up.
If he's close enough to me, I'm going to head over to him.
You can run over there. He's quite away.
Okay, so if he's within 35 feet, I can use my standard movement. But if he's further away, I'll just dash effectively. But I'm assuming because he's down on the floor, he's considered flat-footed because
he's prone.
He's
And
lying,
If you're doing
Immobilised.
melee, you get plus to hit, don't you?
so he is
He's
laying
immobilised as well.
motionless, face down, pinned by his hand with an arrow, and all his legs are tied into vines.
How would you
He's
feel
not
about
going
me?
anyway.
How would you feel about me shoving my short sword down his neck?
Ooh,
You can.
Ooh,
It'd be the
back
back
of his
of his neck.
Yeah, sorry, not down his front of his mouth. Got sword.
Yeah.
Just-
easy.
Are you talking coup de grace?
So that is that probably already hits. So
He's
do I
not
roll
moving.
damage?
You
I
can
killed him.
hit.
I killed him.
You're just going to dispatch him, yeah?
Yep, he's
Okay,
dead.
so
hopefully.
you dash over there, gaining for the glory kill. Slowly kind of pace up and swagger as you just put the tip of your short sword through his big fat neck.
It's
The
incredibly
snow
bad form,
starts
old
to
chap.
fill with red around him. Okay, so you're now about 60 feet away from the cave entrance.
Do we need to check their bodies for anything? Don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so.
I will
No.
be
Quite
listening
well
out.
armed compared to the others.
I have a feeling we might be getting some company soon.
I will be listening out for anyone potentially coming at anyone.
Shall we head for the entrance and try to intercept anyone before they come out? We could stand either side of the entrance and maybe jump then.
I'd rather be in an open space rather than being in a confined space, but
So I meant the outside of the entrance, not the inside.
good point. Let's go
Like
to the
standing
outside.
by either side of a doorway.
Let's narrow them.
Why don't you go ahead, Harrison, and see if anyone is coming.
Yeah, I'll stealthily head on over to the front of the cave entrance.
Go on then, roll
with
stealth.
a nat 1.
Well done. So he thinks he's being really stealthy, but
And
actually
can
what
I
he's doing
can I?
is-
I would have liked to follow up behind because I've got my hood, cloak of invisibility. So I'm just gonna put it up because and I'm gonna follow Harrison behind with my small footprints in the snow, so people can hopefully see me a bit.
Well, as you're trying to not sneak up, but as you're trying to follow Harrison is there going, I'm being really stealthy in the
I'm
snow.
humming a tune as I'm doing it. It's like Mission
Yeah.
Impossible theme tune.
So, you are there in the kind of the entryway, but what you see is the cave entrance is basically darkness as it goes straight back. There are jagged spurs of bone protrude actually from the stone on either side of the cave entrance. Each rib cage is towering some 20 feet in height. So they're obviously some kind of monstrous creature. What would you like to do?
Do I see any ogres?
No, it's a cave going into natural darkness.
Okay. I do have my goggles of night, so I can see up to I think 60 feet of dark. I think light. Dark. So basically, I can see in the dark. So hopefully, I can see about 60 feet in front of me. I think.
Okay.
So
you're not actually in the cave yet. You're still surrounded by lots of daylight and white sunlight reflecting snow. So as you put the goggles on, you're like, oh shit!
I'm gonna get a bit closer.
You kind of get blinded and you have to blink them out.
I'm gonna be closer, hopefully making another attempt at being stealthily again.
Okay, do your stealth check. Rup, can you do a perception check for me, please? What's everyone else doing?
I was going to say, would the rest of us sort of following at a slight distance behind Rupp, or are we with Rupp?
Well, I'm following right behind Harrison, so like hopefully.
Oh, right behind him, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so
literally.
we'll like be, I don't know, 10 feet behind you or something.
Yeah, I'm got my hood. I'm invisible, so hopefully.
Okay.
21.
I'll let them go on for a little bit. I'll just signal Yelena to hang back and Iona to hang back a little second.
Yeah.
Iona, well, we're really here because we really don't like ogres, and we want to help the people of Turtleback Ferry out. But you seem to have a vested interest in taking these ogres down as well. Is your reasons more personal? Are you hoping to get something out of this?
Well, somewhat. They've killed many of my companions, and I suspect, but I'm not sure, that they had something to do with the disappearance of my commander. But I guess that'll be proved out if we can get inside. Maybe she's gonna pick up another like hollow log. She'll say, maybe I can trick them one more time. And she wants to yell, she wants to give the ogre yell for all clear. Like using the log to like amplify her voice. She's gonna be like, it's all clear!
All clear! Go on, roll for it. Let's do it.
Should I roll like a performance check or?
Yeah, do a performance check. Rup, can you do a perception check for me?
Yeah. That
17.
Okay, so no, that was mostly successful. So you pick up the kind of a little bit of tubing to help throw your voice out there, make it kind of deeper. Harrison, can you make a perception check as well?
So yeah, I got 31.
Okay. And Tolkus, you might as well do it as well because you're at the front. Well, you're slightly behind these two, but
36 for perception.
31.
Okay, so as you all see as you approach, you're paying attention to these rib bones coming out of the rock and what's going on. You all notice that the thing that seems to, on these pikes, there was one that was on fire, the other one is all blooded, and on the floor you notice there is a severed ogre's head. And Tolkus, you recognise him, well, you all recognise him as possibly it's the ogre from the dam. You're not 100% sure, but you think it is.
Hey, that looks like the ogre that we met on the dam.
And then somebody
Hey,
behind
I'm not
you,
shouting.
behind you, it shouts, all clear! And it seems to reverberate down into the darkness. What you also feel is heat. And as you're getting closer to the cave, you're paying more attention. The top of the cave roof, which is like 30, 40 feet high, is blackened with soot.
Oh.
They cooked him.
Maybe this is a volcanic cave.
Try to be as stealthy as possible. Just sneak forward, I guess.
Are we going in?
Well, I'm invisible, so no one knows. But I just give Harrison a push, a slight push.
Tolkus just broad as brass, just starts walking into the cave slowly, like normal pace, not like rushing, but normal pace.
And then Elias, Yelena, and Iona.
Is it pitch black in there?
It is. It's very, very dark.
Oh, good, because Tulkas, funnily enough, doesn't light a torch, and you all think, oh, that's a bit strange.
You're just walking boldly into the dark cave.
Yeah, just out of game, I've got dark vision. I can actually see in the dark, so I don't need any light sources anymore.
Do your eyes change like color or anything when you?
Yeah, they're kind of like, you probably didn't notice, but now the middle of them is like black.
Okay. So for the three at the back, you see Harrison, Tulkas, and Rupp start to walk into the cave entrance. They haven't disappeared from view yet, but as you're hanging back, what are you doing?
Oh, your commander. What's their name?
Commander? Well, his name was Lamatar Raiden. Lanatar? Did I get?
Lamatar.
Commander Raiden.
Okay. Caven never spoke about him at all. So yeah, that's not a name we've heard before.
He's been missing for some time, but I always thought it had something to do with something that occurred up in the mountains here. We never found even a trace of his body when we went to look for him.
So did this all happen before the Ogre attack on Fort Rannoch?
I believe so. Did it?
No.
No.
No. He so the commander was taken during the first wave of the attack.
Baden. I know his name.
It's now Raiden because everybody's caught onto the Mortal Kombat reference.
Yeah.
Lightning God from Mortal Kombat.
It's Raiden
My
now.
own handwriting betrays me. So he was taken. We went to look for him. Never found anything really that led us to know whether he died or whether he was taken captive. And well, I personally think it was something to do with the ogres, and we've been looking for him since then.
Okay. Hey, we're I guess we're looking for our next step. Yeah, we're here to take these ogres out because we want to make sure the people at Turtleback Ferry are safe and they can go and rebuild their village and not have to worry about anything else in the future. But yeah, we're so far we've been led everywhere. It's a bit of a strange feeling of not knowing what our next step is. So we're just looking for information.
Right. Well, I think we're both looking for some information, plus we'd all like to see these ogres dead. They've been such a scourge. But, well, if they're in there, then we better go too. And I think she's going to try to sneak into the shadows. Even though she can't really see in the dark, maybe she can, like, feel along the wall and creep that way.
Well, the rib bones are huge, so you could kind of go in between each one as you go further into the... If you, like the map illustration shows, which you all should have a copy, but you can see that you've got 6 rib bones on either side, and that will take you into the neck of the cave entrance itself. So you can there's definitely space to hide. But I will make you roll a stealth check.
Okay. Ooh, it's really high. 33.
I'm just
that's
gonna.
fine. Elias, Elena.
Yeah. What do you think, Elena? I mean, I can't see a link between. I want to take these ogres down, but that's for personal reasons. I'm struggling to see a link with what happens next. I mean, the only clue we've been given by Alana is that there was a flood in Magnamar. I don't know what our next step is. What do you think?
Not sure. I'm wondering maybe they might lead us to the creature.
That's what I'm hoping. But
It seemed like I don't know if they were working with her. I got a bit confused when Caven decided to turn bad. I think we just need to gather as much information as possible. If something caused the dam to burst, it makes sense, and there were ogres there, it makes sense that we follow this lead up. If we exhaust it, then at least we know that it's not here. We can't do anything right now.
Yeah, I guess we head back to Magnamar anyway at that point, because I guess that's home for the time being.
Yeah, and at least you can do it in 2 days, and Harrison won't complain as much on the way.
Yeah. I have a handy little cabin as well that I can cast, so even the times when we're not travelling, we can sleep in comfort.
You
I
just
should
roll.
charge him some sort of fee, really, shouldn't I?
I think so. Definitely. Otherwise, we just leave him outside.
Yeah, that could work too.
Go see if he's dead yet.
Yeah, I'll do stealth as well, please.
Yeah, likewise. That's 21.
Okay. So as you walk in, can you three also make a perception check? You all kind of start to hide behind the ribcage, try and as the light from outside disappears as you go further into the cave. You're trying to you eventually kind of disappear. While the first three are kind of walking bravely or stupidly in, is quite apparent.
31.
Okay.
21.
Mine's good.
Perception, did you say? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a 25.
Okay. What you all notice, because you're taking the time to move around slowly, is that these rib bones there are small carvings on them. They go up probably to about 9 foot high, the carvings, before they just go into normal bones. And they seem to be kind of various shapes and glyphs and symbols. And then you realise that some of them are incorporating a peculiar 7-pointed star.
Okay,
And
I guess that's the next clue.
we'll find out what this means after the break. So what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to do a Q&A with KELSEY. So stay tuned for that. But I'm going to give all the players a quick couple of minutes, buy a break, get a drink, get a snack, and in the meantime, I'm going to show you guys a Beetle and Grim advert, and then we'll be back. So make sure keep having your questions for KELSEY into live chat, and we'll be back in a sec. And a very special giveaway.
And no ogre sausage before anybody in chat says anything more about that.
Indeed.
You brought it on yourself.
See you all in a sec, and thank you, Th12. See you in a bit.
Hi! Welcome to the Beetle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse Shopping Network. Shipping Goblin Bob here is going to tell you all about our new Platinum Edition. It's my favorite.
Thanks, George. Friends, are you tired of putting a cat, a flask of poison, and a source of radiation into a sealed box and having to settle for a cat that's dead or alive? Well, Beetle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse has the product for you. Introducing the Schrodinger's Cat Platinum Edition. With the Schrodinger's Platinum Box, you can have both versions of your pet at the same time. Free yourself from objective collapse and enjoy a cat that simultaneously exists in two decoherent realities. It's time for atomic indeterminacy to enter the macroscopic domain. It's time for Schrodinger's Cat Platinum Edition.
Yeah. She's totally dead. But totally alive.
Only from Beetle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. Simultaneously available and sold out now.
Cool.
And hello again. Right, we are back. See, I said it would be long. Right, while we're waiting for the others, and moderators, you've already sent me some questions. Send them to me again, so I have an updated list. I'm just doing a shout out for people who are still with us. Ryan, Session 0, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. Who else we got? Baron Snowhand. Thank you much. You're hanging around. Great stuff. Chav. Bucks345. Who else we got? Donny Cusking. Don't know the name. Thank you for joining us. Grumbled530. Thank you for joining us. Hawthorne. Now, Hawthorne says they know you. Do you know Hawthorne?
So, Hawthorne, I don't recognize your screen name, so if you give me a hint at either a screen name from Facebook or your real name, whichever you may want to reveal, I will then know who it is, I think.
Is it Hawthorne or Hawthorny? And Leyden?
Oh!
Landon. Aiden?
Francis.
Oh, there we go.
Francis.
Shout out to
Wait,
Francis.
Francis. Why am I?
What?
I'm like, wait, I know the name.
Hawthorne Elaniden? I don't know. But anyway.
We've talked before. This is for sure.
Hawthorne Jan Leyden. If that makes sense. There we go.
Do we say
Jan Leyden.
Jan Leyden.
There we go. Cool. It's easy. I'm still looking at the name, so I can't see the chat. Has Matir, thank you for joining us. Ipsy, always a pleasure. Thank you. The Night Lady. Lauren, hello, Lauren. What has Josh got today for a snack? Moistique. Nightscape. Raiden is actually in the channel, so you did really well by picking the name Raiden. Raiden is in chat. Shadowbane88, Silly Gnome 225, hello. The Saxy Aussie, hello Saxy. You will never know. V&K Violets, thank you all for joining us. Right. Also, to what we mentioned earlier, it's been in live chat a few times. We have a special link because KELSEY has been very, very generous in giving everyone, all of you, a free book. So if you would like a 5e compatible adventure, we have available the Monastery of the Shadow Sorcerers, which you can get following that link right now. Use that code and it's yours for free to anyone. So thank you very much. We are also doing a giveaway in a bit. We're going to have a chat first. So KELSEY, just for the viewers who don't know you, we've been looking at chat, and there are obviously there's some people who do like your work. They have been joining us in chat, and they've been singing your praises as well. Thank you very much. I have also enjoyed your writing,
Thank you.
and your encounter cards, your monster cards, and all the bits that you do for your adventures. For those of you who don't know, we've been talking for a few months now, and we're also talking to a company in Australia. So I mentioned to them about KELSEY's writing and previous adventures, and they were very interested. So we're trying to set something up, but that's a different conversation for another time. But yeah, loads of exciting things going on. So KELSEY, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's it like now. You're writing full time as well now.
Yeah, that's true. I am. I'm writing as my job, which is really kind of crazy. It's I don't know, it's been really fun to get to really focus on this full time and then suddenly have the time to get more ambitious with projects, you know. I think that's the biggest benefit. So it's been pretty exciting. And I have to say, Francis, I know you, of course I know you. We've spoken over email multiple times about writing and how he's working on a D&D adventure and he's in a folk metal band. So I knew I'd remember. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, full-time writing. It's crazy.
Cool. We've got some, you can't see it unless you're looking at Twitch, but we've just put up some pictures of the Shadow Sorcerer's book, just so everyone can see that while we're talking about it. What's the inspiration behind your stories at the moment?
Yeah, so I really like sword and sorcery fiction. I kind of always have. And so a lot of what I write is inspired by some of the like pulpy, like early 1900s Conan the Barbarian and Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. And I also, actually the adventure, it's so funny that we were just talking about Mortal Kombat in the chat because the adventure that I'm giving away is absolutely inspired a little bit by the Mortal Kombat franchise. So it all fits together, you know. But video games too, yeah, definitely inspire me.
Cool. And who does your artwork? Is it the same artist who's done all of this?
So this one happened to be, it's a mix. And so I'll sometimes use stock art, I'll sometimes get custom art. And in this particular case, there's this artist from Thailand named Tiffy Luadthong. And he's really he releases a lot of stock art that I think a lot of writers in the D&D community really appreciate. You kind of see him everywhere, but I've been holding on to these 4 pieces that are by him while working on these adventures because they were huge. The second you see them, they give you ideas. And so I was like, well, I have to write something that includes these pieces. So he's the cover artist for all 4.
And just to make sure that everyone understands, so everyone in watching us now, live chat, if you're on YouTube, you may have missed it by now. But for everyone who's watching it on Twitch, or if you watch it in the next couple of days, this is the book that you can pick up for free right now. So, Steve, if you could chuck up, or any moderators, if you could chuck up the link again, this is the book that you can get absolutely free. So without giving any kind of spoilers away for potential players, what can DMs expect from the Shadow Sorcerers?
Ooh, there are, as you might know from the name, there are shadowy sorcerer monks. To me, they're kind of like ninjas, and it's about the characters have to get inside a monastery that they occupy that is transitions once every 10 years from the plane that they live on over to the material plane, and they have to steal a black lotus flower from these sorcerers. It grows in the heart of the monastery, and they guard it, and it's precious to them, and the characters have a reason to steal it from them. So that's the mission.
Cool. We got the questions we get coming in at the moment. Steve, my phone has just gone wonky, but one of the questions is, this was I was going to say this is a court question. Does KELSEY follow a character arc when writing, such as the hero's journey?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. You know what's so funny? I might be an outlier here in that I actually don't think that conventional narrative structure applies well to Dungeons and Dragons writing, which is a controversial belief, I think. But I think that there needs to be, for an individual adventure, there needs to be a journey where there's a problem that can only be solved by the special qualities of the characters. So in that way, there's a little bit of a story arc that's centered around heroes. But I think it's really difficult to actually create like a 3-act structure for an adventure because the adventure isn't meant to follow a specific path. So that's a very insightful question. I really appreciate that because I think I'm a little different minded about that than perhaps other writers.
And one of the follow-up questions was, have you ever based any of your characters on your NPCs or heroes or situations on real people? And if you have, who are they?
Have I don't think I've done that consciously, but I'm sure that it happens where some qualities from people I know make their way into people, especially important characters like villains. So I probably wouldn't want someone to know that they contributed to being a villain. I have a really good friend. If any of you guys know the Runehammer YouTube channel, Hanker Infernal, he's a writer. And I based a character in a recent adventure I wrote named Bertrand Gilliard, a little bit off of him, like a sort of crazed artist and like a very self-driven artist. And so that character was based on Hankerin, and if he had gone overboard with if he'd crossed the line into madness with his creativity.
Yes, Baron Snowhand, yes. How they go straight to a target, yes. What has been... you mentioned the Baron. What has there been any kind of other NPCs that you've absolutely fallen in love with that you continue to repeat or revisit?
There's one, actually, there are two. The first NPC the first important NPC I ever wrote for a published adventure was named Sheila Coppertree, and she's like a pirate. She's in Secrets of Skyhorn Lighthouse, which is a free adventure on DM's Guild. And she's appeared a few times in some subsequent adventures, or the people that she knows. And then there's a goblin named Thelonious Brack who keeps appearing in everything I write, like not because I plan for it, but because he's a goblin wizard and he's just really kind of funny and sort of malevolent, but he can be helpful. And he's appeared in a couple supplements and then adventures, and he actually is a character that I've played before as well in some live streams. So he's a funny one.
So you
He's
actually
a good
get to
guy.
bring your own character bit into other stories. Give them more opportunity to be alive. We've had some questions. We've had quite a few questions actually saying what, because you mentioned video games, what video games have actually inspired you?
Oh, so I mean, Mortal Kombat, all those like terrible like fighting games like Killer Instinct from like the 90s. But also the Legend of Zelda franchise is maybe my biggest inspiration. Because I really like the idea of Link. If you guys have played it, I think I don't know if any of you have played any of the old or more recent Zelda games, but I just love the idea of Link being sort of the lonely hero who's fighting to save this huge land against this very obvious and overwhelming evil. So he's cool. That whole franchise is cool.
Steve, that's where my phone's gone a bit wonky. Did you get the rest of those questions?
So I just want to go back on. Yeah, I like the fact that you don't have this railroaded track in your adventures. You're saying you don't do that. You don't try and tell this linking story between everything because there is no defined path. It's fluid. But going back to that that comment there about this quite obvious evil in Legend of Zelda games, do you try and have that ultimate villain that whose hand is in all of these small little breadcrumbs that the party tries to follow? Do you always do that? Is that the way you try and structure adventures around the central villain?
Sometimes, yeah, and it's funny because sometimes there's an overwhelming villain in my mind that's a part of like the world canon that I don't explicitly write into the adventure. But if you look at the adventures I've released as a whole, you might start to notice it. Like there's this whole, I've never written a word about this officially, but in my mind there's this whole like evil empire called the Azarumian Empire, and they were like vampire and lich queens, and usually when there's undead rising up from like buried tombs, they have something to do with it in some way. And it's kind of fun to grow that as you write the adventure and you see an opportunity to say, hey, like the ancient lich queens of Azarum probably had something to do with this, so I'll write it as though that were the case. That's really fun to do.
So is that how like your universe has expanded? You just do different stories and then have connected them to... Are they in the same world, or are they kind of detached where you can, as a DM tool, you can plop them into any campaign you happen to be running?
I hope both, actually, which is crazy. So the world that I kind of have in my mind grows each time I write an adventure, but I try to make it all very self-contained so that you could plop it into a pretty generic world. Or in some cases I have some extra planner element that allows you to like take the players to a really crazy place that doesn't make you have to change your game world a lot. Kind of a trick there. Yep.
So if you're sitting down, blank page in front of you, where do you begin?
So yeah, I think I start with a mixture of a couple strong images that inspire me, and then I try to come up with a problem relating to those images, because an adventure is about solving a problem. And so I look at something and I'm like, wow, this is a really cool picture of a lighthouse. Like what could be going wrong at this lighthouse? And then that kind of steps easily in small bits into an adventure, because if you're like, there's something wrong here, well, what is it? And then how is it perpetuating? And then what is it the characters could do about it? And then how do they find out about it? And so you sort of go backwards from the end to the beginning that way.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
Thanks.
We got some more questions about the Shadow Sorcerer's book. Mr. Chelly says, is this a one-shot? And what is the playable length? Is this like a 4-hour, a 6-hour, 2-4 sessions?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little longer than maybe one session, unless your characters really rush through it, which has happened. But I'd say I'd give it about like a 6 to 8 hour playtime.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that actually, because it's again for those who haven't had the opportunity, it's a free book, so just go and have a look at it, have a read. Again, I've picked up, before we even started talking with KELSEY, I was reading the stuff. The Skyhorn Lighthouse is one of the ones I picked up because it was free at the time, and Cult of the Basilisk, or the Basilisk Cult, Temple of the Basilisk Cult.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yep.
There we go.
You got it. That's a hard one.
Yeah, and that was good. The stuff that's in there, and you think it's short enough to be. You can do it because us as Band of Badgers, we have club days. So we have where we before COVID, we used to meet up once a month. We'll play for 12 hours, but that adventure is perfectly suited because you can have, your lunch and dinner break, which is order loads of pizza and loads of cups of tea, but you can play that for the entire day. Start, middle, and end, and at the end of the day, you win and overcome this story. And again, in the next 4 weeks, we have a different story, and it's so nice to kind of have something like that to play. And it was only through, I think you were probably one of the first writers I saw when I started looking at DM's Guild, because, like you say, you end up buying a publisher, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons or Paizo or someone, and you kind of get stuck in the rut of buying their things. But there are so many good independent writers out there, and I picked up your stuff, and it was great. It was easy to digest, and we should also put in. But it's not just, you don't just get the story. You've also got maps, your encounter cards, which are your own design. Is that right?
Yeah. I originally made them because I was like, I can't keep track of everything without looking at all my notes, and so I made them for myself, and then I thought, well, maybe other people would find these useful, which is my litmus test for whether I should make a product. I'm like, would I actually want to use this for myself? And then if the answer is yes, I'll make it. And that's guided me well so far.
Cool. You've also a lot of questions regarding who do you collaborate with, or do you are you looking in, again, kind of 2021 new year? Do you collaborate with people? You've done artists. What about on the writing side of things?
I have done that, and it's really fun to take a break from solo work to collaborate once in a while. I think I've collaborated with Hanker Infernal, who's the guy I mentioned earlier from Runehammer, which is, I know his creative process enough to have made an NPC out of him. Mm-hmm. So that's why that happened. And then I've written a book about monsters, the Monstrous Lexicon, with a friend of mine named Matt Rauscher. And that's actually on Amazon, but I wrote about half the monsters in the book.
Cool.
And other stuff like that. Yeah, I've what else have I done? I did an adventure series called the Adventure Mixtape on DriveThruRPG. So
Yep.
It's 4 adventures that are linked kind of to each other. And they go up in level, and like NPCs cross over between each, but they were written by 4 different writers.
Was that before or after you came up with the idea of your new kind of library collection?
That was before, and then the library, like the Legends of the Library collection, was because I wanted to write 4 adventures that weren't really like linked in a thematic way. But I was like, well, it'd be fun to put these 4 adventures together as sort of a one set thing and release them kind of as a group. So that's why I did that.
So the reason I mentioned the library is to take us into the next bit.
Lovely segue.
That was it. I'm getting good at this stuff now.
Get that sledgehammer out.
So the prize giveaway we have, I will try to bring it up on screen. So that's the Monastery of Shadow Sorcerers. Now, this is actually included in the library. So the image you can see in front of you now on Twitch is the Arcane Library's collection of the Legends of the Library Volume 1. It includes 4 adventures. You've already got one for free, which is the Shadow Sorcerers. So, that's yours. You've got it. You keep it. That's what is yours. You take that away with you. But for one winner, you will have all of these. Okay, so we're gonna do a draw. One of you will get this entire 4-pack adventures. It features the Ghostlight, the Fangs of Atali, the Monastery of Shadow Sorcerers, and the Gate of the Lens Wizards, which is futuristic. Is that right?
It kind of is, yeah. It's sort of like I dodge like the explicit sci-fi element to it because it's really a fantasy adventure, but it has like an old crumbled sci-fi civilization in it, and then some like space wizards. So.
And I love the artwork on Ghostlight. What can you tell us a quick summary on each book?
Sure. Yeah. So Ghostlight is these are all really sword and sorcery. So they're like I wanted to take a mundane D&D concept and make them very like magical and sort of like grim magical. So Ghostlight is actually a first level adventure. It's the players have to go onto a ship called Ghostlight, which is actually the afterlife for sailors. And they get below decks and realize that it's actually not so much a ship as it is this huge, like, extra dimensional place with multiple areas. And they have to fix something that's going wrong that the ship itself can't fix. Fangs of Watali, the characters have to appease a god named Watali who's angry that a really important artifact has been stolen, and so they have to go deep into the jungle and confront the thieves and fix that problem. Monastery of the Shadow Sorcerers, 8th level, steal a black lotus from some mysterious shadowy sorcerers whose monastery comes into the material plane beneath the blood moon once every 10 years. And Gate of the Lens Wizards is 15th level, and that one is a really exploration focused high level adventure where this mysterious gate appears high in this mountain range, and a couple important people disappear through it, and so they go through and they discover what's going on inside this huge sort of complex beneath the surface of a jungle moon on a distant planet. Cool. And there's like intelligent albino spiders and like wizards from space with like a big eye that are like doing like telescope magic. It's like really out there, but it was super fun to write.
Spiders. Dave's well up for that one then.
Yeah, they've like become intelligent. It's really hysterical. They have personalities.
Speaking of spiders, Dave's worst nightmare.
So, Steve, we need a code word for the draw. What should we use?
I've done library.
Okay.
That's okay.
So, everybody, it's exclamation mark the word library, and we will pull a winner. I just saw another question there from Ryan. Ryan says, "Do you work with one artist or multiple?" I think you've worked with different artists throughout the books, haven't you?
Yeah, yep, definitely different artists. I usually work with the same cartographer. I have a couple cartographers I work with who are really cool. And I love their stuff. They're just, I think cartographers in particular are the people who really make or break an adventure with the quality of their work. So you gotta find some good ones.
Cool. Now,
there was a question as well from Baron Snowhand earlier on, and it is, who is your favourite writer? And I can't find the rest of it. Yeah, there we go. Who's your favourite writer, and which story would you have loved to have written?
Ooh, do you think so? This is a good question. Is that like my favorite D&D or like RPG writer or like fiction writer?
Take it however you like it. I would have asked you what your favorite fiction story was.
Ooh,
you can take that however you want to answer that one. Is up to you.
Well, I'll do both real quick then, because I love both ideas. I think one of my favorite adventure writers is Bruce Cordell, who contributed to 3rd edition and then Monty Cook Games, and he is one of the most brilliant technical designers of D&D or like dungeon crawling material that I've ever seen. He wrote like the Sunless Citadel and Forge of Fury he contributed to, I think. So anyway, if you really want to like dive in under the hood of why is this adventure designed this way, and you start looking at his work, it's like, oh my gosh, he's a genius, you know? And then fiction writer is, I'm going to say Garth Nix. Check out the book Sabriel by Garth Nix.
Sabriel.
Really, really awesome novel that's about like a necromancer, I guess, loosely a necromancer, and it is such a cool story, kind of grimdark in a way and like very heroic. It's my favorite book, I think.
Cool. Any questions from the players? From the players, not to the players. From the players.
Just making sure we're alive.
Yeah.
What was
that?
Kelsey, I've got a stupid question, but have you ever thought about writing an adventure where the actual quest is really mundane, but what happens during the adventure is really exciting? So, like, it could be, I don't know, you've got to get a special replacement wheel for a cart for the local farmer, but it takes you like across country and through all sorts of things just to get this damn wheel sort of thing.
That
Would you
would
do
be
something
really
like that?
I could totally do something like that. That would be really funny. I like the idea of it seeming like a kind of ordinary task. Yeah.
Like the characters end up feeling it's really beneath them, but it ends up being the greatest adventure they've ever been on, just to get effectively a light bulb from the local shops,
That would be so fun. Yeah, like it's not about the light bulb at all. It's about all the other stuff that happens. That's a really cool idea. I like that. It's like you don't see
you can
stuff
have that
like
one for
often.
free.
Thank you.
You totally
When I
have to
get
role
rich,
play
I'll-
complete apathy though, the whole way through.
Yeah,
We have another one. So again, Band of Badgers is a club. We have about 80 people in our local club. One of them is in our chat, Neville who's Mike. Mike. He says he's actually bought all your stuff, and he's hoping to run them as one shots for the Badgers soon. Again, once we're out of lockdown. But yeah.
That is so kind. Thank you, everybody everyone's been so nice in the chat and like so supportive. It's really fun to get to like just meet people who are really going to use the work and who appreciate it so much. It's just like really special that I get to do stuff like this.
Cool. And you mentioned, so we're going to give one of the libraries edition away, which is the Legends of the Library Volume 1. We're going to give one of these away. But if you don't win, go buy it. I think what's the price at the moment? There's a price reduction, isn't there?
It is. It's $15.99, but it includes the free adventures. So I also sell the particular adventures individually. So if you want to just check one out in particular, you can also just grab one of them.
Cool. Right, we're gonna pull the winner. Give it a go, Steve.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of typing something.
I have a question for KELSEY.
Go on then.
Is there a cutting room floor with all of your stories that you have like a selection of things that you may have gone down a path with a story that you may have just put to the side, say, I don't want to do that, but you may have like a list of things that you may have for like a what if scenario of your current stories of where the direction could have gone with the story?
Yeah, there definitely is. There's a graveyard of ideas that ended up not panning out, or like I wrote like 3 scenes of an adventure, and then I asked my wife, I was like, does this sound like this would be fun? And she actually really doesn't play role-playing games that much, so she's a good sounding board because she doesn't come with any preconceived notions. Although she'll humor me and play once in a while, but and she was like, no, you probably shouldn't do that. And I was like, okay. So I trust her gut on stuff, and they're NPCs I've repurposed into other things, and all the cutting room stuff ends up contributing in some way, which is great. So I can't say it's a bad thing.
No, yeah, I'm just gonna point out to again everyone who's watching. Band of Badgers is a local club. We're based in the UK and we're streaming because we're in lockdown. That's why we're doing this. But what we try to do is every week. This is a weekly stream, and we also stream on Fridays as well with a different adventure. But we have guests on. Our guests are writers, designers, artists, creatives. So thank you, Biff Bap Barf. Thank you, Gareth. It's basically we try to get those types of people, get them on, play games with them, get to know them, and hopefully promote their products to people who are just like us, into games and gaming. Grakin, thank you for following. So yeah, do help us out. If you are a writer, designer, creator, artist, or if you happen to know one, send them over. We'll happily play games with all of you. If KELSEY's character today, Iona, if she survives, she's welcome to come back.
Yeah.
Unless I roll high, but we shall see. So we are going to pick a winner.
We are. I'm ready to roll this button now. Right, you ready?
Roll.
Go
for it. So, Donicus King, congratulations, you've won the giveaway.
Well done.
Yay.
Well done.
Yay! Congrats.
Oh, I think my chat is slow. It hasn't come up.
I'm impressed that Steve managed to roll a button.
Yeah, well, push a button. I didn't roll the button.
You said roll the button.
Roll the button.
Right, so I will just message you the code because I don't have to collect any information for this one. This is great. KELSEY has
That makes a
made
nice
my
change,
life
doesn't it?
extremely easy this evening, which is much appreciated. So it's like literally Control C followed by Control V into Whisper, and you have the code to be able to download. I'm getting technical now. You know,
It wasn't you, but it was. I was looking at Mike. On
Yeah,
there straight away. Never win
I
nothing.
just saw that as well.
never win nothing. Yeah, never win nothing.
Mike has won.
So thank
one
you,
of our
KELSEY, for
biggest
making my life
prizes.
easier this evening. That's
Yay,
great.
I'm glad to. Thank you.
So, question in the chat: KELSEY, how many scenes would you typically allocate to a game or one shot?
Ooh, that's a really great question too. So a full-length adventure, I would usually write about 10 scenes into it. That one would be like 2 sessions worth. And a one-shot is usually around 6 to 7 scenes, including the ending one. And of course, there's like maybe about a third of them would be combats, because those take a long time, and you want to make sure you're kind of budgeting the time out, especially in a one-shot. So usually a third of any adventure length would be about. Yeah, I would write maybe in a 10-scene adventure, maybe 3 to 4 combats, or 5 maybe if one was fast.
Nice, thank you.
Well done. Congratulations, Danny Cuskin, for winning the competition. That's the Legends of the Library Volume 1. I will bring up the cover again, just so everyone can see it. It is a collection. If a moderator can put the live link into live chat for us. Sadly, if you didn't win, you can go buy it now. It's that easy. And you get 4 adventures in there. They're not necessarily one shots. It depends on, but it might be 2 or 3 sessions where you can do a nice self-contained story. Hopefully you'll take my word for it. I've read them. I played some of them. It is great. So do pick them up. Plus all the extras again. The extras, the encounter cards, all the extra benefits, all the maps are done for you. You don't have to do anything. So just go with it. And also, not only that, but you have the Monastery of the Shadow Sorcerers, which is free. So if you've only just joined in, here's a free book from KELSEY.
Only for you is it free. So
Yes. Only for
oh
us.
man.
Cool. Right. So we were just entering the cave. You notice some glyphs in the bones. You at the front. You at the front.
Gonna stop and wait for everyone to catch up.
Okay, that's fine. You stop at a statue. Okay.
Do we recognise it?
No. So you stop at this huge, enormous statue that stands here, frozen vigil. It's a 40-foot tall giant with black skin covered by fissures and cracks, much like the bed of a dried river. He wears majestic armor. It's been gilded and encrusted with gems, and he stands there kind of very stoic and gripping a towering glaive in his fully armored fists. The giant's face is hidden behind. It's a full faceplate helm with kind of like a sneering grimace of a fanged devil, but it is just a mask. Around the giant's neck hangs a familiar 7-pointed star medallion. Now it is size for a gargantuan, so you wouldn't be able, even Tolkien couldn't wear this. But it's not like these ones that you've seen before. This one looks like this.
Fancy bling.
I would like to cast Detect Magic, please.
Okay, so you 3 catch up.
I would like to make a nature check on the ribs to see what creature they might be.
Okay, so we do Yelena first, because that's an easy one to manage.
32.
The size and shape and number, you believe them to be dragon bones.
Oh. I will let everyone know. There might have been dragons here before. There might still be dragons, maybe. Be careful.
Maybe that explains the scorch marks.
It does, yeah.
I whisper, have we experienced gluttony yet?
Only when you eat dinner.
Only when you devour sausages.
Oh, that's me. I love sausages.
I don't think we've encountered gluttony yet. I don't know if this because of the ogres. They like to eat things. Could this be somehow gluttony?
Elias, do you recognize the statue?
No, I don't think I do. I don't think we have overtly seen gluttony. I mean, I guess you could assign gluttony to the farmhouse that we encountered. Slaughtered all those black arrows where we met in the ratio. They seemed gluttonous, didn't they? Certainly that horrible beast that I burnt down in the house. She was too fat to even move.
Got a weird feeling about this place.
As you're kind of standing there contemplating this, you can still feel the heat coming from further down into the dark tunnels. You do see what appears to be a glow coming from, much further down the tunnel. Seems to be a glow, possibly from, obviously some torches and some fire and stuff. But on the very edge of your hearing, every now and then you hear kind of a metal on metal tap. That kind of clink, chink, clink, every now and then.
Dave, does Tulkas recognise that as sort of like smithing or something? Because I have skills with making objects like weapons and armour and stuff.
Yeah, hearing that sound, that's the first thing that springs to your mind. The sounds might reign with different ideas with the other characters.
Can you hear that sound? Sounds like hammer on metal. Oh, and did Elias's detect magic pick anything up?
Elias, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry.
There
Did my detect magic pick anything up? There's
bloody good question.
Can one of the mods answer Many Paintings question in chat, please?
Yeah. There is a faint ebb of magic, but you reckon the size of it must kind of it must weigh kind of, I'll look at my notes, 400 pounds in terms of weight. I mean, it's a huge medallion. There's a faint glow of magic, but it's also probably coming from the statue itself. But the medallion itself will probably cost or have a value of around 5,000 gold pieces.
Okay. You said it's like massive, isn't it? So carrying it's going to be slightly unwieldy. But I think we should try.
Maybe on the way out?
Yeah, maybe on the way out.
On the way in.
It's not going to go anywhere. Maybe not.
Hope not.
As the strongest in the party, I might be able to.
I believe in you, Rob.
Thanks. Yeah. I've kicked a few doors down in my time.
I have no doubt.
Has anybody got any magic to make it smaller?
I think you're the only one that deals with size, Elias.
Well, I'm all for making things bigger, not smaller.
How about if you cast your enlargement spell in reverse?
I'd love to, but it doesn't quite work like that.
Well, I don't know how magic works. Sorry, I just fucking.
What if you made Tulkas bigger and then he picks up the gold chain? Does it go smaller with him?
That's not how it works, Harrison.
Is it lighter in 2D?
Forgive Harrison, he doesn't know how magic works either.
Is it lighter in 2D, Elias?
That's a good point. We could try that.
Someone grab it and then we. Then it's on the.
We can sling the planar rope around it.
Yes.
Oh God, the planar rope. That only works to drag ogres through fields and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop fixating on the magical item, and I guess we'll move on. Okay.
Maybe it gets smaller if you remove it from the statue.
Look, guys, I'm still invisible, so maybe I can sneak up. By the way, the sound.
If you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to, if
yeah,
you're talking to me or if you're talking to the
no,
other
I'm talking
heroes.
to the players. But
if they ignore you, then you can just go off.
I'll just go. Yeah.
Sorry, Rup. Yes, of course, yes. Go and check out. Take Harrison with you. He's stealthy.
I go.
It's stealthy.
That's not a bad idea, Tolkus. Actually, you know, if we took it off, it might shrink down. You know, magical items are known to do that. So, would you mind lifting it down?
I can try. I guess I would have to climb up and try and slip it over the head, unless it has a clasp behind it. I don't know, but can we see from down here, Dave?
No, I mean it's 40 foot high up to the top of its head, so it's going to be a little, let's say 5 foot, a little bit down, 6 foot. You'd have to climb up to get a proper look. Everything, some of it is gilded into the stone, so it mentioned like some of it is carved into the stone, and then the gold has been painted over it. But some of it is actual pieces.
I wonder if the main symbol bit can be removed, maybe.
Can I try and use Mage Hand to lift it down?
Yeah, Mage Hand won't be able to carry that much weight, but
if you can knock it off with Mage Hand,
you can try.
I'll give it. I'll try. I'll try fiddling around behind the neck for a clasp or something, and try and dislodge it so it falls down, and Tolkus can try and catch it.
Okay, so Elias is there. He creates
crushed by a giant necklace.
Elias.
How big is the diameter of this thing? Just for.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, this is a wagon wheel medallion.
Made of solid metal, probably.
Yeah, I'm not catching that, Elias.
Even Tolkus like backs off.
There are many things I can do, but catching huge bits of metal that fall from the sky, no.
Also, we've kind of got away with it so far, but that is essentially ringing the doorbell.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Right, I'm switching off. I'm ignoring it. Let's move on.
Okay. I pity the fool that has to get that.
Oh no.
That's killed me wanting it now.
Yeah. It's lost all appeal.
What do I see, Dave?
Okay, so Rupp has had enough of the conversation and starts to wander off on his own. You wander down the corridor and you come to a flight of steps. Steps go up. You follow them up, and there's a strong, distinct smell of burning.
Burning. Okay.
Yeah. Now the corridor, if you look at your map, the corridor continues on a bend around to the left, but on your right, you see a big open, wide hole, an opening of a hole. The smell of burning, it's basically a deep pit hewn inside the hard stone. It descends into total darkness, but all around the opening is just soot. There's also a very stale reek of decay that seems to kind of waft up from the hole.
Yeah, I got the goggles on, so I can see. But
okay.
I take a peek down the hole. I guess.
Yep. So you're gonna kind of lay down and look over, or just step up gingerly and look over?
Step up gingerly, and I'm invisible, so hopefully nothing can see me back. But
no, that's fine. That's fine. So you kind of gingerly place one foot in front of the other, and you look over the edge. It takes a while for you to kind of see. It's basically, think of a chimney without an open bit at the bottom. It's a huge 100-foot drop chamber, fairly circular, and there are what appears to be burning coals down there. But on top of what's burning is bones of all kind of shapes and sizes. There's a few bits which still have meat. It's kind of like a barbecue. It's not burning like a bonfire. It's a slow cook. Couple of
Best kind of barbecue.
Okay.
The baked potatoes wrapped in foil.
So there's like smoke coming up.
Yeah, very little smoke, but that's the main sort of waft of it. You can imagine that if this was been freshly lit, this would be chugging out tons and tons of soot.
Right. And the sound, where that's still coming from?
That's coming from further down the tunnel. So where it bends around the corner, where you're positioned now, you can see there's light. So as you go, if you want to kind of peer around the corner,
Yeah.
it goes on for about 20 foot before another staircase, again roughly hewn into the earth, which goes up for about 20, 30 foot. And then there are obviously torches up there. There is flame and light up there. You can still hear the clink, clink, clink every now and then. That's all you hear.
Okay. And there are tracks below me all everywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dirt floor. There's huge feet. You know,
Okay.
Some are barefoot, some have got shoes. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Guys, where's Rup? Where's Rup gone?
Good question. Do you think he got bored of us?
Probably. He probably got bored of me fantasizing over that magical item.
Iona, did you see where he went? No.
Well, he was invisible, wasn't he?
Do you leave any
Oh.
tracks?
Yeah.
So I continue towards the sound.
If you want to.
No, I think we must assume he went ahead. We should go.
I'll cast message, which now has a range of 500 feet, and I'll say, Rup, where did you go? You may reply to this message.
Towards the clanking.
He says he's gone towards the clanking. So if we head for the clanking, we should be able to bump into him.
The clan
Yes, let's go.
king
Yeah, that one.
or the clanking? Clan
The-
king?
Probably both, knowing Dave. Yeah, so there we go. I've gone towards the metal sound.
I'm jealous. Everyone in chat is talking about pizza. What I've got is a mini Mars bar. Right. Okay. So you carry on towards the sound. What you see is, I'm trying to bring up my screen is now trying to type at me. That's clever.
Predictive text. Good.
It is. Yeah. It is. It is a. You see two ogres standing almost very similar to ones outside on guard duty, and they are picking on what appears to be a kind of like a lumbering hill giant. They're like, oh, go on, now pick up that one. Oh, yeah, now pick up that one. And they're just letting him pick up things, and when he turns around to pick up something else, they throw it back on the floor, and then they laugh at him, kind of kick him in the bum, and then they tell him to go and pick it up again. And this seems to go on for a couple of minutes while you're staring there watching them, invisible. But they haven't detected you.
My invisibility about to run out. And then...
Quite possibly.
How long does it last?
So you have
like 10 minutes.
you have two ogres and a hill giant in front of you.
Okay.
That's just Rup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I go back towards where the team was. And as my invisibility is running out, so I just go back and
You see Rub just appear out of thin air, walking down the stairs towards you.
Huh, Rup.
Did you see Rup? I say
there
this
was-
quietly. I'm not actually shouting out. What did you see, Rup?
So, There's 2 ogres and a hill giant. The hill giant seems to be being picked on, so maybe we can like get him on our side. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
Doesn't sound like a bad
Good
idea.
plan. How many ogres did you seek?
DOS
What's DOS?
2.
What? Disk operating system? What are you
I
talking
don't
about?
speak this language.
Use common. We don't all speak halfling.
Yeah. Okay.
We speak Kobold though. Mech, mech, mech.
Still think you're making that language up, Tulpas.
Oh, because you've been eating too many sausages.
Maybe.
Yeah. We can maybe get the hill giant. Do you know much about hill giants, Iona?
I know a little bit about them, I suppose. They're not as common as the ogres, as far as I'm aware. Has Iona perhaps ever encountered hill giants on her ranging?
Yeah, potentially yes. They're not the smartest of giants. They are the lowest caste of giants. Pretty stupid. I think from Rup's description, this one seems to have, a giant would not normally take orders from an ogre. Even ogres would be beneath giants. But this is a particularly powerful clan. Is the ogres, the Krieg ogres. So yeah.
Yeah, so tell everyone it's strange that a giant would be taking orders from an ogre. So either it's a really dumb giant or these are some really, really strong ogres.
I ask Iona if the giant kind of the hill giants are naturally kind of evil, or whether they're just kind of follow whoever kind of they want, type of thing.
I think normally they're pretty depraved. Yeah.
I suppose we better be on our best lookout and make
Best
sure.
behaviour.
Best behaviour, yeah. Just keep a watchful eye on the giant as well, because he may not want to go on our side either.
Yeah, but maybe if we defeat his bosses, he might at least not interfere with us.
Yeah. I once heard the enemy of my enemy. Is my friend. So maybe we
Seems
can.
pretty dumb. We could probably convince him of that.
What if the enemy of your enemy is also your enemy?
For now they're fine.
No. You are very wise, Master Up.
I just got told it. It's not me. Sorry. Right. Who wants to go first? It's not me.
Well, I could maybe. Are they all like in a nice 60-foot area, perhaps?
That's
Possibly
very
closer.
specific.
It is specific, but it is good. Yeah. So again, look at that map. This is just for the kind of the players. You're in area D5. So yes, it's 10. They're 10-foot squares, 10, 20, 30, 40. So you've kind of got a 40 plus 50 radius. So it is quite damaging.
There is something I could do, but I might get the hill giant as well.
Okay. I mean, again, I've saved my silence, so we got that.
Cool.
So let's just sneak up and see what we get to.
Okay.
I can make. KELSEY gets 0 point. By the way, the vote is done.
Hey, thanks. What do I get to do with it?
So you're. Go on, say.
You get to re-roll.
Yes.
Any roll that you want to. Saving throw, attack roll, ability check.
Thank you.
I can make the ceiling fall in on them, but like Elena says, that's probably going to get the giant as well. Do we want to take the ogres out and hope that the giant decides not to fight us and just goes to freedom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be better.
Yeah.
I don't. He might not be the innocent party in this, but let's
Yeah.
assume he is.
Well,
Yes.
the giant hasn't done anything to us, but the Kriegs have obviously hurt a lot of people. So
We sneaking?
I can sneak up if you want.
Let's all sneak.
Sorry, I have another idea. I
What's
can
that?
maybe suggest to the giant that he might want to take advantage of the fact that he's bigger than these ogres and maybe decide that he's the boss instead. It might take root, and he might then turn on the ogres, and well, maybe we could just sneak past and not bother with any of them.
It's true.
Is that
Like
what
it.
you tried? Sorry, you.
No, I think that's a cool plan. I like the idea. I think, and if we listen in, maybe we can see what's giving the ogre so much hesitation, or the giant. Maybe he'll tell us something we need to hear.
It's a good point. Information is good in this.
I prefer a straight up fight, but I will go with the majority.
So Elias, you wanna go ahead, walk up calmly to them and
Hello.
Being swallowed.
I walk into the room. I get within 60 feet of the giant, and I look up at him and I'll say, you're like, at least 1.5 times to 2 times the size of them. So actually, you're like worth more than 2 of them, maybe even 3 or 4 of them. So why exactly are they, kicking you in the butt? They're telling you what to do. If I was your size, I'm not. I'm only tiny. See.
So halfway through this conversation, as you seem to have just struck up a conversation, the 2 ogres go, "Oi, what's that? There's a little blue thing. Do you see that blue thing? What is it? I don't know. What is it? I don't know."
At that point, I will complete my casting of the spell suggestion. So if you can roll me a will saving throw for the giant, please.
Okie dokie.
Little blue thing.
19.
That's a fail.
Ooh.
So on a failure, the target immediately follows your suggestion. The spell duration has a duration of 1 minute until the target has completed a finite suggestion, or the suggestion becomes self-destructive or has other obvious and negative effects. So I'm just trying to convince him that he should stand up for himself.
Okay. So immediately, the thing that you see is his posture changes. So rather than kind of being haggard and bent over and kind of, big arms, big fists dragging across the floor, his suggestion that he can be more than he is, he starts to kind of Superman up and he's like, starts to straighten his back, puts his shoulders back and pushes his chest out. He's kind of, ugh, and it instantly kind of turns round. And the 2 ogres like, uh-oh.
I cast silence from behind Elias on one of the ogres, and the whole room just goes quiet.
So you see that the ogre you're doing is the nearest one to you, and the other ogre you can see is shouting at him, not shouting at him, but saying to him, "Look, we got to do something. It was him." And you see the other ogre turns around and just starts furiously ringing this bell. There's a steel bell next to him. He's ringing it, and the other ogre's going, "Oh." So there's no sound coming out of the bell.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Nicely done.
And the hill giant turns around and is like, "Ugh," and takes one almighty swing. Steve, I'll let you roll to hit and the damage on this one. So roll a d20.
It's a natural 20.
Get out of town.
Okay, and can you roll?
What's a dice?
1d12, please.
That doesn't sound like a dice, but I'll roll it anyway. That's a 9.
Okay, and that's double damage for you. +4.
So that's 18, 22 damage.
Okay.
You're rolling for the hill giant, is this? Yeah.
Yeah, so the hill giant just he pulls back, he lets slip the huge roundhouse punch. The ogre's head slams into the rock behind him as he's still holding on to the bell, and you just see him kind of, and he's just hanging with his hand attached to the bell string. The other ogre is kind of standing, his jaw is agape and like, and starts to run down the south tunnel. So you've come up from the
Okay.
east. He's going south.
Can we intercept him? Or...
You can do, yeah, if you're quick.
Yeah. I'll
Who wants
do
to do
whatever I
something?
need to move to get
How-
to him.
How
Yeah.
far
I'll
away is he?
shoot with telekinetic projectile, but I'll wait my turn.
If you're all at the top of the stairs, he's 10, 20, 30, 40, around 50 feet away.
Okay,
So-
cool. I would like to do something.
So Tolkus is going to try and intercept him.
Yep.
So he's gonna dash, double move.
I'm gonna stamp my staff on the floor, and I'd like you to throw a reflex save.
Okay.
For a reason.
Oh, I got a natural 1.
Yay!
Yes.
Mhm.
That's,
Damn these dice.
so I've just rolled Impaling Spike,
Oh,
which is a shiny new spell.
Shiny, shiny.
So it's 8d6.
oh,
86.
blimey.
So that's 10,
Is it critical success, isn't it?
20. I'm going to do that bit in a minute
Yeah.
because my brain does not do the thinking very well. 27
now.
points of damage, and on a critical failure, the creature is impaled through a vital organ or its centre of mass, taking double damage. So 27, so that's what, 54 points of damage?
Nice.
Fantastic.
It's flat-footed as long as it's impaled.
Well,
And if it's got weakness to cold iron, that's also going to be a problem for it too.
Okay, so
It's immobilized as well.
you see the ogre make a break for the southern passageway. Tolkus goes straight for him, goes forward like trying to intercept him somehow, rugby tackle or whatever he wants to do. Yelena stabs her staff onto the floor. Boom! You see this shining silver spear erupt from the earth, almost getting him in the groin, and hitting him with so much force it erupts through his body and out through his head, lifting his feet off the floor. And although he's hanging there dead, his legs are still running until they slowly start to stop. The other ogre is now still basically being pummeled by the hill giant in perfect silence.
I want to see that for real.
Yeah, the hill giant's like boom, boom, and almost like looking around going, as he's like pummeling, and you just see his fists coming back, starting to come back red as he's breaking the skin with the bones as they start to break under his heavy fists. Well done.
Nice one, guys.
And in a complete
Nice.
silence.
Yeah.
Well
I just
done.
look at everyone and just go, was that a bit much? Was that overkill?
Overkill.
Sorry, Tolkien, I stole your
I
Imagine
show.
love
a
that
road
spell. I think you
spike.
could do that one again anytime. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Not today,
tomorrow.
I can't.
That's
Thank
a
you,
cool
Nick
spell.
Monster.
Should we get a wriggle on before the giant decides that he's now king of the hill and can pummel anybody?
yes.
Yeah.
Pick a direction.
Up.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, B.
So where was this D4 or D5?
It's the D5 where we were.
Yeah. So we could go to.
Which way was the clanging coming from?
Can't hear you,
You're
Dave.
Dave.
Sorry. From this midsection, you're in it's a junction, so it's a four-way junction. So from the south, as you've all kind of gone into that room, you see that from the south, that's definitely where the noise is coming from. There's lots of light just bursting out of this room. It's just firelight, but obviously that's where it always seems to be.
That's where the action is.
Yeah. North, and then there's a kind of a northwest channel as well. They're all in darkness.
Continue towards the clanging clangs.
Yeah, so we could go
Okay.
to the clang.
Yeah.
So you
Clanking.
don't have to go too far to hear the clanging as it resonates through the chamber, and you're on top of a flight of stairs. It's 20 foot wide, opening to 30 foot wide at the bottom, and looking down, it's about 30 foot long in terms of distance down. You see quite a huge chamber. There are these big double fire pits in the middle. There are what look to be bedding all the way around the edges of the room. There are, you quickly count kind of 10, 11, 12 ogres. Most of them are kind of making weaponry and armory of some kind. They're clanging these heavy hammers down onto swords. Then they pass them on to someone else. They're dunking them into these barrels of water, and all the steam is coming up. There's others on blowers or billows, pumping the forges, as you realise the forges are now set into the wall as well. People are pouring them out into the stone. Ogres are then waiting for it to set, hammered it out, and they've got this chain going. So you've got 10 to 12 ogres doing that. And then one very more military dressed, more refined ogre than the rest. Everyone else is in these leather apron or leather armours. This one, he's got metal plating. He's got 3 skulls strapped to his head as some kind of signature helmet. 2 of them look like human skulls, but the top one has some kind of demon horns in it.
It looks nasty.
What's the area? How close are they to each other?
They're mostly spread out the room, but they're, some are within sort of 5-10 foot 10 foot of each other, but it's all around the edging. So if you was to look at the D6 area on that map, that's how big the room is. I mean, it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's like 100 foot wide, 150 foot deep, and just ogres all around, hammering and hammering and hammering. What would you like to do?
I will. Well, I just go to. Can I do my new spell?
Feel free,
I
Master
just
Rob.
did one of mine.
It is good to see all these new things. They are fun.
So, any of them within 20 foot of each other, including the big guy?
Wait.
You got a few there, yeah.
Before we kick off, I mean, there's, and believe me, I'm all for kicking off, but there's an army here. I mean, they're making a lot of weapons. There's a bunch of ogres in this room, but this can only be a tip of the iceberg. There must be a hell of a lot more ogres somewhere else. I mean, somebody needs to get back and warn Fort Rannick.
Yes, I think we could do with reinforcements, Elias. I don't think we could take all these ogres on our own.
Well, yeah, I don't know about necessary reinforcements, and we might have to fight them. I don't know, but somebody needs to get back and warn Turtleback Ferry and Fort Rannick that there could be an army coming. They need to prepare. I can
go. I'll go. Well, that's my fort. I'm supposed to help defend it. I should be the one to go and bring back reinforcements if I can.
I
idea,
can send you back as quickly as possible. I can. Yeah, hold on. I'll use my arcane bond to recover Shadow Walk for another casting, and I will cast Shadow Walk on Iona, so she can get back to Fort Rannick as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Give you the black arrow salute.
Oh.
That's canon. That's canon.
That is now canon.
So you see Iona just like plop, 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 plop into a 2D shadow and run as fast as she. You just see her disappear.
Can I give you my inspiration as I'm going? Be like, fight well.
Unfortunately not.
Oh, no.
You gave me the black arrow salute. That
that's enough.
Surely.
So you guys are still at the top of the stairs. What do you want to do?
Are we ready? All right. My cloak starts billowing, and my eyes turn a shade of purple.
And we will leave it.
Yeah, okay.
We will pick it up next week.
No!
As Rupp overloads.
Damn, I wanted to see it.
I turned Super Saiyan.
Yeah. We just have to interrupt the cutscene there. But yeah, that's cool. So that's it for another week. Join us again next Thursday as we continue Runelords. We are again back tomorrow for our Tomb of Annihilation Dungeons and Dragons game. which is also, well, not a weekly game, it's a fortnightly game. So join us that. We are now in the actual Tomb of Annihilation itself. It's a lot of fun, so please do join us. Kelsey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun, you guys. Thank you.
Great having you.
Yes.
And you survived. So another
guest. You didn't betray us. You didn't betray us. So you're instantly in the top tier of guests we've had. No offense to other guests.
Oh no. We'll see what kind of reinforcements she brings back. I don't know.
Premium guest.
Comes back with a box of kittens. We're not going to be impressed.
I know. Oh, well, this was really fun. Thanks for bringing me on. And I know it's late where you guys are. Thanks for letting me come on Central Time over here.
No, it's fine. We've actually ended a little bit earlier than like 5 minutes before we normally would, mainly because I know that Rup is going to erupt. So we'll save that for next week.
Be a good
eruption.
Oh.
Sorry, Josh was going to say it. I'll get there first.
Oh, actually, I didn't think of that one, so I'll let you have that one.
God, that joke was so bad it gave me cancer.
So thank you everyone for joining us. We hope to see you again. Please do join us tomorrow and for next Thursday. Kelsey, you've been wonderful, and your hero survived, so you're more than welcome to return.
Yay!
Again at some other session.
Thank you. We'll have to do a redux of Iona's, helping out with the party.
Definitely.
Killing ogres.
And how is that for everyone? All the players, how is that? Okay? Good?
Was it
Bad?
Good.
Yeah, good. Still enjoying it? Good.
Yeah.
Still got a while to
Enjoying
go.
it. On your spell.
Don't think we'd be carrying on if we weren't enjoying it.
Oh, wait, say that. Right, anyway. Cheers, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.